Whatever, man.
I'll chug like half the bottle.
Dude, all you have to do is drink beer all day. You'll be fine.
You've got to take Justin camping, and like when you're getting ready to go to sleep, just be like, kill, kill, kill. Like, start.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
Oh.
We'll be all right.
Oh, my.
Keep some sticks around to break.
On that note, everybody that's here, which is nobody, welcome back.
No, we got one.
That's probably me.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back to the Ultimate Men's Conversation.
I get it on my phone.
I'm here joined with Justin, Greg, and then Justin's brother Mike is here today. We're here to talk about a couple of things. The ESL PUBG tournaments going on right now, which I want to talk about.
I have no idea what that is.
PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. It's a new video game that's come out this year.
Gotcha.
They're actually doing their first invitational of like a competitive online event.
Oh, okay. Is
So-
that based out of Maryland or is that?
No, it's international. Right now
gotcha.
it's at Gamescom, which is in Germany.
Huh.
So they did an invitational where they invited 80 people to play
Gotcha.
from all over the world, and a person that I follow got invited, which is pretty cool.
That's dope.
So he flew from Montreal to Germany to play a video game.
That's pretty rad.
So
Did they pay for it?
I think he has to pay for the plane, but
Still, he's probably get some. I'm sure he gets tons of free shit out of that. If you're coming out of the U.S. going to somewhere like that, they hook up people.
Greg, where do you think Montreal is?
Oh, god damn it! All right, whatever. Going out of Canada, and then either way, same thing. America.
There you go.
So what I was gonna say is $350,000 in prize money.
Nice.
So he
For playing video games.
for playing video games.
That's
and this
where-
isn't even
Is
like
it not the weirdest fucking time to be alive?
Yeah. I know.
man.
So I was talking to Evan the other day, and the whole Twitch thing like blows my mind. Just people watching people play video games. Like, why are you doing this? Why don't you just play video games? And he pointed this out to me. He's like, well, if like when it comes to sports, it's the same way. You're gonna watch people that are better than you, and they actually kind of give you tutorials on how to do things better. Yes, it's just a video game, but still, the fact that like, all right, so you're kind of watching this person play, and they're making you better at it. So it's kind of like training at being better at video games. Just still kind of weird, but now it makes a little bit more sense to me.
Yeah, I get it, but I just don't. Competition's fine, all that. Just don't call it a sport.
Yeah.
I also don't think chess is a sport, but you know what I'm saying? It's like
it's a very
recreational activity.
It's a very fine line of what even a sport is these days.
That is true.
Curling is an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Jesus. All right.
I like how Greg made me feel a lot better about watching YouTube tutorials on how to play guitar now, though. If I can't figure a song out, I don't feel nearly as bad now.
Literally, the only reason why I have any talent at all is because I'm really good at looking things up on the internet.
You could probably put that on a resume, and people would be psyched to see that shit now.
It's like I can do anything because it's online.
I can Google shit so fast.
I'm not one of the most mechanically inclined person at all, but I figured out how to fix my car because of the internet. So
Yeah.
Hey, and that we can thank.
Yeah.
Cheers to YouTube.
Yeah, dude.
I'll put my cola in there.
Yeah. I actually had to tell somebody at work today that I couldn't do the job that I was tasked to do. I can usually pretend like I know what I'm doing for a while, but this was some serious coding stuff, and I was like,
I am not qualified.
yeah, there's no way. I literally was editing video games like 4 months ago, and now I'm going to be doing this heavy coding stuff. I'm like, you need this done in a week. There's no way I'm gonna be. I can pretend I know what I'm doing. I can look it up online for a while and figure it out eventually. But there's no way I'm gonna meet that deadline. I gotta tell somebody that they have to do it. And luckily, somebody else was like, yeah, that's fine. I can do that.
I can pull that off.
Yeah.
You're going to be on a government deadline anyway, man. Does it really matter?
Yeah, I know it's all bullshit. Anyway.
You could have just Googled it. You could have figured it out.
I was, dude, and I'm just like, I can't wrap my mind around it. I was like, no, you know what? This is the first time I'm going to say, I'm not going to do it.
I'm just going to wipe my hands clean of this.
And you know what?
And
stress just went away so bad. So then I started looking on my phone and watching stuff on the internet again.
What anybody should
and
do
some
with their
crazy
job.
Office Space way, he'll end up getting a fucking raise.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right?
I'm not government yet. You don't just get raises for no reason. I'm still a contractor, so it's like you get a decent amount of money, but you're not going to go anywhere.
You got to work for that shit.
Yeah.
Work.
Yeah, it's way overrated.
Yeah, it's-
I hope my boss never watches this show.
No. Oh yeah.
I love work.
So ridiculous. I'm just trying to get fired so I can collect unemployment and then move far, far away from here.
I keep talking about Evan. Has he claimed unemployment yet? He said he did, but then
he told me he applied for it.
he did, and then he was filling out the application. And they're like, "Did you try to get a job this week?" And he said no. Like, come on, Evan. You say yes to every answer that you know they want the answer to be yes to. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
It's like filling out a job application and they want to know all your felony stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
have
Okay.
you ever,
Well, those
have you
you
ever
say.
committed a crime? No.
Yeah. Well, he had to do the opposite.
No, what you say is, can talk in person about it or something.
Yeah.
Like that. You never say you're a felon. We can talk about it in person though.
When they're like, if you see someone stealing money from the cash register, what do? You're not gonna be like, oh, just forget about it.
I just turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
I just say they took more.
I'm like, I'm gonna rat that son of a bitch out. That's what I'm writing down. I want the job. You know what I'm saying?
I'll never forget when I started working at CVS, or when I was doing my interview at CVS. They was like, "Do you have any questions about the job?" And my dumb ass was like, "Yeah, when do I start?" I didn't even have a job yet.
I had an interview the other day, and I almost said something like that. It's like, I just want to know how much money they're going to pay, because if they're not going to pay enough,
why waste your time?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing that's pissing me off most about things now is that whenever you look at a job online, they don't hardly ever say how much you make.
Oh yeah,
or how much you're going to make. So, you gotta go through the process and be like, we're gonna pay you $12 an hour. Look at that, fuck you.
Right.
Yeah, but they're the same ones that when you're filling out that tedious 90-page online app, they want to know how much you were paid at every job you've listed.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's like,
it's so ridiculous.
And with the job that I applied for, I don't remember if I told them how much I won or not. I got the interview, so it's like, do they know how much money I want?
Because if they're not going to give it to me, they're wasting their time.
Yeah, I know. So maybe they do know, but I can't remember because I just fill out applications all the time, just in case.
Speaking of jobs, my dream job just came back online. The one where you get paid $50 a day to drink beer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's $50 a day. You work 3 hours a day. And they pay you to go to different bars and drink their beer.
That's a pretty rad job.
I mean, that's a hell of a job.
Yeah. Talking about jobs.
Okay.
Talking about jobs. I might take on a second job. I already told people that I would, so we'll see if it sticks.
Where? Oh, the brewery?
Yeah, so there's a brewery opening up locally, and it's like they just need somebody to pour beers at the brewery. I'm like, they asked our homebrew club, and I'm like, well, is anybody interested? Or they said, is anybody interested in your homebrew club to come pour beer when we open a brewery? It's the people that opened it. They actually own a homebrew shop, and I was like, it's like, yeah, I'd like to work at a brewery, but it's like, do I want to only have a job? That's it. My life is just I go to work, and then I go to work, and then I go to sleep.
Well, you're busy as shit anyway now.
I know.
So.
And I was like,
Evan Gamble gets in the chat. Let's talk about the KKK.
we don't bring politics and
politics
into this. Sorry.
If you actually read the rules in the chat or in the description, we don't do that shit.
Not following the rules. That's why you got fired.
That's a new. That was a good one, Justin. That's been the on. Evan's trying to take it down by he always before he finishes a sentence. He's like, "That's why I don't have a job anymore." He's kind of killing it.
He's trying.
Bel Air, right across from Looney's.
Okay.
That's not local.
For what?
that's local-ish.
I work in Aberdeen, so it's a half-hour drive from Aberdeen. I'd be going there from work pretty much.
You're going the wrong way, though.
Good, dude, I don't care.
I thought you were gonna say like it was like the new Fire Tower Brewery or something.
That
would be cool.
I also have a chance to work at an Elkton brewery, but they just haven't quite got their stuff together yet. So
it's in Elkton.
Yeah, but it's not in Glen Burnie or it's not in Pennsylvania.
But the one they're building, I think, is on 213, so it's not near my work, actually. So it's not.
Oh, it's on that side of it.
No, it's not on 213.
It's not?
No, I mean, I've talked to those people, too, and they said that they were interested in me coming there, too.
Oh, wow. My name's Greg. I get all kinds of job offers.
Everybody likes me.
Yeah. Everybody likes me. I'm Greg, and I like beer.
Yeah, but working for a beer company, you don't make any money.
Yeah, but it'd be something you wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd still have my regular job that makes money, and then I'd have another job. It's a lot. But
it's a lot, but
yeah, no, it wouldn't be full time.
But what if it like became something that was full time? I mean,
really, in the end,
isn't that the dream though?
It would be, but really, to make the money I want, I would just have to own the place.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because you already make a pretty
well, not only would you have to own the place, it would have to be successful.
Right.
That's the hard part.
And what's nice is I know enough people that I could eventually collaborate on bring all these people together that work at all these places. Like I know a brewer, I know people that work in the restaurant business. I could bring them all together and we could do this thing.
Yeah. Dude, I remember working
the money to start it.
I remember working with the guys who now run Blue Earl and listening to them have the same conversation that with the same shit you're saying now.
Yeah.
Listening to those guys be like, "Oh, it would be so cool," because they were all working full-time jobs, making beer in their house and taking it to competitions.
Yep.
And they started winning. That whole thing started from work buddies.
I started lining up my competitions this year. I have a few already. I've set in stone.
Yeah, you were telling me about was it Baltimore?
Yep, down in Canton, which would be nice because I know people that are going too.
Okay.
Whoops.
So you could pad the vote a little, you know.
I don't know the people that are judging.
Oh, I didn't know it was like a public vote.
No, I did. Oh, if people come in, they can vote for you. And I was like, hey, just pay an extra $5. You can come taste the homebrew, and then you can vote for me.
Yeah. Pad the vote.
Yeah.
And if I have a free ticket, so I can just give you a ticket.
You could be like pimping Becca's customers out. Like, Becca will give you a free hour if you go vote for Greg at this. Becca's a tattoo artist.
Jeez.
Nothing gross.
For the competition, Greg, do you have to make a certain beer?
Yeah, so for the competitions, you do the one that I'm doing. You do have to make a specific beer. So for the one that's down in Canton, they want a harvest beer, which a harvest beer is whatever they quotation marks because harvest beer isn't a real beer. It's like whatever. So a harvest beer it's whatever's harvested in this period of time right now.
Oh, okay.
So hops are harvested right now, so you'll get a lot of like wet hop beers, like fresh hops right off the vine into the beer. So you'll get like Hop Knife. Hop Knife, I believe, is a dry hop or a fresh hop beer. But then you'll also have like pumpkin beers. And my plan is I'm thinking about doing a cranberry beer that it's a cranberry. It's going to be a golden ale, I think, with cranberry and bourbon.
Word. Yeah,
it sounds interesting.
I think if this
I
time
just
of year
started googling shit online.
This time of year, everyone's going to be doing pumpkin stuff. So
I know, yeah. But I looked up online and somebody was doing like cranberry sauce with bourbon in it for like Thanksgiving. I'm like, yes, I would do that. Yeah, I'm like, well, why don't I just do cranberry and bourbon into a beer, and then I just haven't decided if I want to do a lighter beer or a darker beer. That's where I'm gonna have to brew that in like 2 weeks. So
figure it out. You should probably get on and figure it out.
I brewed last weekend. I'm brewing this weekend, and then I might be brewing next weekend too.
Well, when you do the bourbon beer, let me know. I'll come help and film because
I'm working on
love bourbon.
Yeah, I'm working on filming my shit too.
Fanatic,
Me too.
Man. You too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've started working.
I have some stuff you should try. It's not really bourbon though. It's not.
I should try it.
Technically, it's bourbon, but it's not bourbon.
Yeah, I'm driving you, Mike.
It's more like a brown. It's like a brown like moonshine almost. Like it's got a corn flavor to it, but it's like it's been barreled. It's you'll have to try it.
Jake, tonight it identifies as bourbon.
Yeah,
we're all going to respect
Why don't you go
that.
grab it?
There is a type.
Just give him the bottle.
There is a type. I can't remember what kind of bourbon that is because I went to Larapin and I know the guy that works at Larapin. He had me do a bourbon tasting one time, and I'm a beer guy, so I was like, well, you're going to give me the bourbon.
I'm an alcohol guy.
I was like, I'll try it. And he was telling me that certain ones have just mainly mainly like a corn taste. I can't remember because I had bourbon.
So I just... Yeah, it's whiskey. I mean, it's technically bourbon, but it doesn't taste like either. I mean, it tastes... It tastes
you guys
like,
get that up by Zach?
Yeah, that shit's $50 a fucking bottle.
It tastes really good in some,
Yes, Lynchburg lemonade.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
The $50.
That's the second batch ever made right there. Isn't
Really?
that crazy?
Oh wow, this is where our old drummer's living now.
Oh, in Saratoga?
And
cool area.
I'm positive he's swilling this shit by the case because he is a raging drinker. He loves
shit ain't
whiskey.
cheap, though.
Yeah, we were supposed to go up to New York next weekend.
Yeah?
But Zach and his new job, it's just...
Yeah.
So we're going to go down to those... going to go play golf.
I'm going to go ahead and just...
Let's put the camera on you. Get it in real good.
Zoom it in. I'm going to get out of the way here.
No, you're good.
Okay. Model the goods here.
Twist it a little bit.
Twist it.
Right there. Boom. Perfect.
It's
Nailed
already
it.
been on the show. Go ahead, take a swing.
Oh,
See what you
yeah.
think.
Yeah, I could do that again.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's like I said, it's It definitely has a corn flavor than it does like a bourbon flavor.
It's like I would probably know more about it if I paid more attention to bourbon stuff.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, I'm a liquor dude, man.
Wow,
That's the first chug of any kind of liquor I've had in a long time.
Since my birthday party, maybe.
Maybe. Well, I feel like it might have
what
been.
the hell are you doing? No.
We put down 2.5 bottles of Bullet whiskey on my birthday.
No, that's the shit.
That's the good stuff. I wish I should have thought I could have brought. Cause
Next
I have
good
time.
some.
commercial
Next time.
stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I didn't want to do a shot at first, and then Mike was like, do a
shot.
shot. And then I was like, no. And then he poured it on me. Poured it on my shoulder. I was like, all right.
Dick.
It's your birthday. I won't get upset about this.
So the weigh-ins for the giant fight of the century just happened.
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Yes, and
The giant money fight of the century.
Yeah. So TMZ Sports reports Conor McGregor makes weight despite giant wiener.
Despite giant wiener.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be able.
Oh
to
my
pick that
god!
up. Look at his dong.
Dude, I got it.
Look at that
Oh
thing.
my
Get
God.
in there, like that thing is gigantic.
Yeah, he's like he's hard as a rock
He
right now.
is.
Yeah.
He's turned on.
That
He
man
is super excited.
fucking ready.
I don't
to
know if I don't know if
go.
I want to fight a guy who gets a boner about getting ready to fight somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, if anybody wants to check it out, TMZ Sports, man, that thing's. I mean, hell,
Yeah, it's-
Tiger Woods would be envious of that.
oh, Jesus.
Your Tiger Woods dicks on the internet.
Did
not
it make
hear
it to
that.
the internet?
Oh,
now?
you didn't hear that?
No, I did not hear
so
that.
what was it? It was Tiger Woods. So what was the woman that he was with? The skier, Lindsey Vonn.
Yeah.
So the story is Lindsey Vonn's phone got hacked, but Tiger Woods' wiener was
Oh,
on it.
jeez.
Nice.
So his wiener got out. Who else got?
Well, it was already out, I guess.
Well, yeah, it wasn't even in. He was just hey.
Dick pic.
So it was him. I think Miley Cyrus had pictures leaked.
Well, she has them
Who
everywhere.
gives a
anyways,
shit, right?
Yeah, everybody's
and
seen
then
Which it took-
but Lindsey Vonn wasn't naked in any. It was just Tiger Woods' dick. I don't know. There's somebody else though. Hold on. Kristen Stewart. Yeah, from Twilight.
Huh.
So
her
her
and her
too.
emotionless self.
I didn't realize that. We just said her name and I blacked out completely.
Miley
Kristen
Cyrus.
Stewart?
Miley
Wow.
Cyrus is in the new Gardens of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Gardens of the
Gardens of
Galaxy.
the Galaxy.
I heard that. I heard that.
Oh wow, I was gonna watch that too. Shit.
You don't
No.
even realize it's her. I was like, why does this girl look familiar? And she's the gold person,
They're
right?
no. The gold person is an actual
See,
actress.
that's what's confusing. Okay, I still don't know who she
Yeah.
was then.
The gold leader lady. Yeah.
See, okay, so what is she from then?
She's from. She did
You should know.
Night Manager with Tom
No.
Hiddleston and the guy who played House, Hugh Laurie, and she did.
Something else because she looked familiar. Then who was Miley Cyrus in that movie?
I don't know. There's like a million cameos. You know what I mean?
There is a lot.
I can't even remember, and I saw it in theaters. A couple
Because
years
I
ago.
looked
I know
up her
who
character.
is in there as a cameo. Richard Christie from Howard Stern Show.
Was he really? I
Hey.
didn't catch that either.
Yeah, he's in there too.
That was
Wait
a
a
fun
minute.
movie. I finally watched it the other day.
So hold on. Back to this
Yeah,
the
we'll go
weigh-in
back to the
photo
fight
with
stuff.
the
His giant penis.
with the dick thing. Do you think we need to find that video on break because I'm wondering if that wasn't a tactic by McGregor, right?
What, to
There's a
intimidate
to
him?
walk
Good-
out with
good
half a chub on
possibility.
and because that's a guy thing. Do you think Floyd was like fuck and like smacked his
Like
to
trying-
just try to
I don't know.
I don't know. If I'm about to fight somebody and they have a rock hard dick, I'm like, not gonna fight you now.
or
So-
just
Yeah.
walking
Well, at
out-
least it's
walking
only
out
a
sporting,
boxing
like,
match, though.
Right.
Like it's
Oh,
a boxing
yeah.
match. Now, if it was an MMA fight and you got to fight
Oh.
this dude with a rock hard dick,
Imagine if that was
I don't
straight
know about
jiu-jitsu, man.
yeah. see.
All right, come on, you're just poking me
Forfeit.
now. Let's just
Yeah.
Forfeit,
But
right?
luckily, the gi would cover up a lot.
yeah,
So
weigh it down. That's hilarious. Though. When
Yeah.
he fought Diaz the second time, there was supposedly McGregor's dick came out of his shorts for a second, but they denied
I
it.
thought you were going to say there was penetration.
No.
Jesus.
Well,
If there'd been one more round, there would have been.
yeah.
Because the tide was turning.
No, well, we don't want to talk about that on the eve of the biggest fight of the year and the century. So,
biggest money fight of the year of the century.
Yeah. It's, like, keep clarifying. That's good.
Yeah, I know,
That's
because
good.
it's not going to be...
Well, really, the best boxing match in a long fucking time is next month.
Well,
Canelo
yeah.
versus GGG.
Yeah,
which
but nobody cares about
yeah,
that.
nobody cares because
His
Well,
name
they
is
did
GGG.
until
name-
they
it's-
signed this one.
Right.
Because that's also pornography.
GGG is
I
pornography.
believe so.
But no, what's his name, Mike? It's Gendy. I don't know. It's some,
Gennady Golovkin.
yeah, that. Say it again.
Gennady Golovkin?
Gennady Golovkin.
What?
Gennady Golovkin. Yeah, right.
That's
exactly.
only
That's
two
why he's not a
Gs.
household name.
That's
And he's
what-
fighting a guy named. He's fighting
Yeah, this
a
is awesome.
ginger Mexican named Canelo Alvarez, who is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
he
these
is
are-
a bad dude.
These
I
are
got a good video for you, Mike, to watch it during the
these are
break.
like the two
Oh, okay.
Aubrey has a good video for Mike.
Yeah.
of Conor McGregor's penis.
Yeah, of
This
Conor
could go a lot of
McGregor's-
ways, man. This could go a lot of ways.
But no, Canelo versus GGG is like the two best boxers right now, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only reason boxing's even like being talked about right now
It's
is
'cause
because
of
of
this.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, no, I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not arguing that.
right.
Like, it's the more interesting fight for sure. But you know,
I think you're wrong. I think
Yeah.
the real skilled boxing match is a better thing to talk about. I mean,
It is, but it's
but
not
there's
going
nobody.
to be talked
Yeah,
about.
nobody
Yeah.
gives a shit. I don't know why though. I
It's
think
'cause
boxing's a
boxing
really cool
fell off the
sport.
map.
well, and it's
Yeah.
Conor McGregor.
Ever
It's like-
since Tyson bit off that ear, it just went downhill.
MMA is dirty. Boys like dirty. Boys like to see like people get hurt.
I wish you had a microphone.
I know. It's like
I wish
Aubrey
people
said that
could- I
MMA
wish-
is dirty, and it's more aggressive. It's way more aggressive, that's for sure, and that's what people want to see.
Well, the thing it's
Boxing half the time is just people dancing around, which half the time sometimes it is the same way in MMA.
Yeah, but
there's
MMA is
sometimes, yeah.
real fighting. Mike said
It
before,
is,
and I think
right.
Joe
That-
Rogan said it first, that Conor McGregor is the only man that Floyd Mayweather has fought and will ever fight that can look him in the eye and say, "You might be able to beat me in boxing, but if we fight for real, I'll fucking kill you in less than a
yeah.
minute."
Oh, yeah.
And the really interesting thing about that is this fight does an awful lot to legitimize the whole sport of MMA because they're coming. I mean, this is the biggest star in MMA is coming up to fight the arguably the best boxer ever. I mean,
of
that's
all
a,
time, right?
it's a big deal. And
Oh, yeah.
if I feel like if Floyd doesn't whip his ass in 2 rounds, it's a win for
MMA.
Conor.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Look, don't get it wrong. Conor wins anyway. $75 million.
Right.
Conor
Right.
wins anyway.
So when
And he has everything to gain.
Oh yeah.
He has really nothing to lose.
Unless he gets starched
And
in
in-
a minute.
and
Even if he
well,
does.
even if he does, it's really not his sport. He's only been training for it for so long. He'll be 0-1.
Yeah.
But if he beats, which I don't think's going to happen, but if he did for some reason beat Mayweather, he's going to be 49-1,
And
and that will completely ruin his whole thing.
oh yeah, because you know,
'Cause if he
Conor
goes-
McGregor's not
if
going
he
to stick
goes-
with boxing.
If he goes, he could be 49-0 and be tied as the greatest fighter with the best record. He would be tied,
Right.
or he could be 49-1 and lose that,
Yeah.
or he could win this and be 50-0 with the best record of any professional boxer.
He would have to retire. I feel like he'd have to retire.
He wants, yeah, he
There-
wanted to.
this
He
is
was
my
supposed to be
reasoning.
retired. So
This is my reasoning for wanting McGregor to win. Is one, I'm a bigger MMA fan than I like Conor.
Right.
And Floyd like beats his wife and stuff, so I'm
Yeah,
not a
right.
big fan. But also, I'm a huge Rocky Marciano fan, and Rocky Marciano died when he was 49-0, and I really don't want to see anybody beat that because he was a
Right.
heavyweight, man. Like
Yeah.
Floyd's fighting.
Well, and he was
45.
a small heavyweight
That's-
too. That's the cool thing is he was a guy who would be fighting at cruiserweight today, knocking out big guys.
Yeah, and
man.
heavyweight, bigger guys, one punch, and it's done. You know what I mean?
Right.
Typically, when you're a smaller guy, it's not.
yeah,
one
it's
punch.
easy to be 49-0 when you're just a little light guy running around.
Yeah.
You know, the ring, getting a couple jabs
Oh,
in
yeah.
and collecting points. Like
Yeah.
he's not getting
When
knockouts.
Marciano was a killer.
Yeah, when you're fighting that heavyweight stuff, like you got to throw some heavy punches. You got to get hit by heavy punches.
You don't have the stamina either.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to win by knocking people out.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's not just dancing around all day.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
also, Marciano did it in the time by the 12th round, your knuckles would be showing through your gloves because they were so shitty. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. But I mean, obviously, Floyd's great, a great boxer, a great defensive boxer.
Yeah.
But
Great defensive boxer.
and I really, man, I don't know why. Maybe I'm buying the hype, but I think Conor's got a better shot than a lot of people are giving him credit.
I
for.
hope
Right.
so.
As long as he didn't As long as he didn't try to go boxing with his like he can't go into this and change anything because Floyd has seen anything boxing related that he's gonna throw. But if he sticks to the karate style, he's got a crazy up jab that's kind of like almost like it's like an uppercut shovel. I don't know what
like
the
a
fuck
shovel
it's called.
punch.
But that 1-2 that he throws off of that and the off angles that he gets, if he sticks with that stuff, he might have a shot. I mean,
I hope so.
I want him to win.
I just hope it's not one-sided either way. I hope it's a great fight.
That would be the
that's
best
worth watching.
Just not
for the fans
running around.
Yeah,
the best scenario is that we get Rocky 1 and these two have to fight again.
Yeah,
that's the best scenario, man.
Like they fight to a draw.
Oh yeah, like
oh my god.
they fight.
That would be amazing and disappointing at the same time.
I think that's what they want. Like, I think that's what the UFC want. I think that's what everybody wants.
It's just never going to happen, though.
But they just want to make more money.
But like, if you think about it, it is a lot like Rocky 1 because you have a no name. I mean, you have a name, but like Rocky in Rocky 1 was, like he was a professional boxer, but he wasn't that good fighting the best ever at the time. So it's kind of the same, and they fight to a draw. But really, it's like even though they fought to a draw. Rocky kind of won in a way because he wasn't even supposed to be in the contest.
Right.
You know? So,
well, yeah, and in a real fight, you can't tell me Rocky wouldn't shred Apollo Creed.
In a real like a street fight, Rocky.
I mean, he was a dockside hitman. Like he was a bad, well, not hitman, but he was a muscle for the mob, right? Breaking fingers and beating people up. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Conor, like Mike was saying, if it goes past like the second or third round and Conor's at least in the fight, it's a win for Conor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that. I think that that's going to happen. I think he'll be able to make it. He'll make it look good. He'll stick around. He'll stick with and roll with the punches.
I mean, he's a tough dude. He can
take some hits.
He took a beating from Diaz in 2 of those 3 rounds, and he kept coming. And I would wager Diaz hits harder than Mayweather, probably.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
I mean, definitely
so.
more.
I've seen guys kick Conor in the head and him walk through it. The guy he's not soft.
Right.
For sure, he's not soft.
No.
And his body's conditioned to take body kicks. He's been kicked in the head.
He's been training longer for this fight. Like, Conor's never stopped.
Yeah.
Like, he ends a fight and he kind of goes back in.
Great point.
Mayweather
is pushing
he
41.
Got soft. There's no way that since Pacquiao that he's been continuing to condition his body.
No, he's been spending all that money,
which he doesn't even have.
But I mean,
he filed an extension on his taxes for after this fight happens.
Yeah.
But like, he's definitely not. He came out of retirement to do this fight.
You
McGregor's
have to ask
been
what his intentions are.
Right. McGregor just kept going. He's never stopped.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Ring
He's
rust
always
could be a
been in
factor.
really good condition.
But you have to know that Floyd Mayweather is 41, but he's going to be able to go 12 rounds.
But it happens to everybody.
His stamina
no
has
one
always
has
been
ever
amazing.
beat Father Time.
No. I'm not saying.
has.
I'm not saying like he's the same fighter.
And it goes.
I would wager he definitely can go 12 rounds, no problem.
Sure, but I'm just saying it goes. One fight you look like a monster, you look unbeatable, and then Father Time goes, and you're done.
Well,
and the next fight you get knocked out.
Happened to Tyson. It happened
to everybody.
Anderson Silva. It just happens. Because Anderson Silva was literally the greatest striker in the history of ever.
Yeah, and Chris Weidman took his soul.
And to knock him out.
He did.
Even though
he took his fighting spirit with one punch.
And even though Anderson was
sucked it right.
Yeah,
out.
he did.
Anderson
right
was
out of
sticking
his
around
mouth.
and got caught, but still, like he's never been the same after that. I don't even think he has a finish since then.
There's a lot of guys who've had that happen to him, and they've never been.
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell got KO'd by Rampage. Was
Yep.
never the same.
He was
ever again.
Well, and it happens to not just older fighters, but people who climb the mountain and become the champion and then lose. They just can't. Most of the time, can't seem to get back there.
Yeah. Well, too, you know what? Floyd Mayweather has never fought through adversity. Never in any fight. Oh, he's been hit and had to clinch for a couple minutes, but he's never been down on the scorecards.
I was just gonna say, about the Pacquiao fight, really? I mean, to me, he was. In the end, we all found out that he was kind of given the win. Do you know what I mean? Because Pacquiao apparently was
injured.
Oh yeah, he had a shoulder
injured,
injury.
and basically what Mayweather did was, dance around the whole thing until Pacquiao couldn't do it anymore, and then he.
But that's what he
I
does.
know that's what he
Yeah.
did, but I'm just saying, like in the end, like you can't just look at it and be like, oh, that was really good. And that was 2 years ago. I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah.
It was 3 years ago.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah.
He
He's
beat
never-
somebody since then, right? Though did he beat? Was it Chavez?
He did.
beat since Pacquiao.
I thought he fought somebody, didn't he?
I think it was Andre Berto. It was Berto.
Yeah, Berto.
Yeah, so he's never been in there and
Dogs.
he's never lost rounds. He's never really been beat up. You know, we have seen Conor come back from an ass whooping. You know,
Yeah,
with
that's-
the
that's
Diaz
second
thing,
and
he's
third
been in
round.
a war. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, and then Floyd is the defensive fighter, and he does his thing, but he used to be a knockout guy, and I don't think he'll.
at a much lower weight class.
But I'm saying, like, he might.
The last guy he knocked out anywhere close to this weight was a freaking cheap shot.
Oh yeah.
It was a
I
cheap shot.
That
That's
was,
the last
who was
guy
that?
he
Was that,
stopped.
that was Chavez or
No,
Victor,
that was Victor Ortiz.
Victor Ortiz, yeah.
But this whole matchup of an MMA guy against boxing, it's happened before, and it's never been like whenever we've had crossover, it's never gone well.
Well, that's-
ever, and
Yeah.
that's the. I mean, if you've watched old UFC, this guy Art Zimmerman showed up when he used to be tournament based.
He used to wear one glove.
He would wear one boxing
boxing
glove.
glove.
What the
What?
fuck?
Yeah,
He
never
would wear
saw that.
one boxing glove,
What?
and he
got
got taken
smashed.
down and submitted.
yeah. Gracie
Yeah.
and all those
James
guys.
Tony tried to do it. He tried
Yeah.
to come to MMA.
That
Randy
was funny.
Couture beat the crap out of
Yeah,
him.
and then
we just had an MMA guy killed though trying to fight in boxing.
the Hague,
Tim
Hague.
Hague,
Yeah.
and he was a
Whoa.
Well, that was the
he
ref.
was a UFC caliber heavyweight at one point in time, and he fought boxing. Now this is after like a string of 6 KO losses in a row over 2 years, and he went and fought an undefeated heavyweight guy in Canada, which.
Was it like he thought maybe I could
Those
step,
commissions,
I could
I
step
don't know,
down?
man.
Well, the
No,
referee in that fight was fucking terrible.
Yeah,
he
he
should have
like
stopped
7
Right.
knockdowns.
Yeah, in like 2 rounds, they should have stopped
Oh,
the
wow.
fight way sooner. But
Holy shit.
Floyd says, "I'll do MMA next." I was like,
No,
"No, you
you
won't.
Shenanigans.
No, you won't."
No, you
There's no way. There's no way.
I mean,
Floyd wouldn't even agree to low kicks and elbows for this fight.
Yeah,
he's
and
gonna
that's
do
all,
MMA.
We were
Right.
talking about this too. If all that they allowed was boxing rules with leg kicks,
Conor would trash him.
Floyd wouldn't touch Mayweather.
Oh,
or
no.
Yeah.
Floyd wouldn't touch McGregor.
Yeah,
because he
no
wouldn't
way.
get close enough,
Yeah, no way.
and it would take like three leg kicks.
Well,
Greg,
that's
kick me in the
my
leg
thing
right
is,
now.
like-
I'm never moving again. And Greg doesn't throw kicks. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like,
But like, what I was thinking is like, what happens if like Mayweather just works him for like 10 rounds, like and McGregor just can't get it in. He's trying. He gets so frustrated, and then like in the 12th round, he just throws a mean ass kick to his leg.
he's a hero.
It's
Yeah.
as
knows
much
he's
as I
gonna
would,
lose.
I would be okay. I would love to see that happen.
Yeah, he knows he's gonna
he would
lose.
lose.
Everything.
He would lose.
He wouldn't
a
get the
lot of
money either.
It's
There's
contractually,
yeah.
it's in there. No MMA
Yep.
moves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
but,
not. I don't think he's even allowed to throw like a Superman punch.
But he doesn't need to do this. Neither one of them do.
I mean, nobody
So,
needs the
35
money.
million is
Well-
a lot. I understand that, but
Connor's gonna. They're
he
each
could
gonna
be a
make 100
fucking
plus
hero.
for sure.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about $75 million. I would compromise
Dude, he
my
would make-
body for $7,500.
Dude, he'd make that money in
You
like
know what I'm
YouTube
saying?
videos.
This is true. This is true.
He would make that money in-
$750. I mean,
Right,
I
yeah.
can do a lot right
in
now.
videos online. He'd make a decent amount of money off that alone.
Yeah.
Not that much money, but still.
If he was gonna lose for DQ, kick him in the face. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, right. Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
just
no
knock
leg
his
kick,
ass
no,
out.
no.
But yeah, if it makes it past mid rounds, and even if he's getting his ass beat, it's a win. Because this guy is one of the greatest boxers ever.
And he's
Yeah, I
not
don't
going to stop
know.
talking shit, even if he's
That's
getting
the
beat
thing.
up.
He's gonna-
not going to stop talking shit.
It's
he's going to get frustrated. I know that. He's just going to get really
Who,
pissed.
Conor?
Yeah.
no, Connor's one of the smartest, most calm, intellectual fighters you will ever see in your entire life. He doesn't play it well, and Michael agree with me. I know Conor is maybe the smartest fighter there ever was, because he talks all this shit and he doesn't let people get under his skin, and he doesn't get frustrated. When he was getting teed up by Diaz, he just kept calm, bit down on his mouthpiece, and went. He will not get frustrated.
Yeah.
It's a promise.
Yeah, I think that he will. If he starts getting beat up, he'll take his beating like a man. There very well could be a point where John Kavanaugh says enough is enough and stops him on his stool. If Floyd doesn't make the referee finish the fight, I could see a scenario where John Kavanaugh throws in the towel or just calls it in between rounds.
Yeah, Conor's not going to get frustrated in it. I mean, he's
not going to get frustrated enough to try a takedown or
anything stupid. He'll bend the rules in his favor, like what Jeremy Horn did to not Jeremy Horn, the guy who just beat Pacquiao. What he was doing.
That school teacher from Australia.
He was like holding him when they held him. You know, like you clinch up when you're boxing, you hug.
Yeah.
And this Horn guy was like, he would push him down as he put his weight on him as they were pulling him apart, or like push him, or just kind of.
It's just something that'll take a little bit of
energy away from him because he's so much bigger.
That's an interesting aspect. I mean, I don't mean to jump on your thing, but clinch, man, Conor's gonna just own him in the clinch.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right.
And he needs to
just make him carry him.
Yeah. And
if he can push him to the corner and just make him carry that big Irish frame for a couple rounds,
and then, like I said, when the ref's stepping him apart, push him down. And I mean,
he's got a lot of height on him.
He's got height. He's got reach. He's gonna have weight.
Yeah,
he's gonna have weight on him.
Like when we said, Floyd's eating Burger King to make weight, just to be heavy enough, because he fights at 145, 147 most of the time.
He's not a big guy.
Yeah, and he doesn't cut weight, and there's a lot of if Conor was a boxer, like by trade, and had 20 boxing matches, 30 boxing matches under his radar, I would say he'd be favored to win, because he's just. I mean, aside from the boxing experience, he has everything on the side: youth, strength. Size.
He's got all the
reach.
things. Like in an MMA fight, you'll look at those things, and he's like, they might have him just based on that.
100%.
And then he's been active, and Floyd's not. But he's not a boxer. So
in MMA, you kind of see people talk shit on each other while they're fighting. You don't. I don't watch a lot of boxing, so I don't really see it that often. But do they actually do that in boxing too? Do you think?
Yeah,
so they do it in boxing as well. I was gonna say, do you think? Because I feel like McGregor. He can get under his skin a little bit more.
He's going to get under his skin. Absolutely.
I think that both these guys are.
Or are they going to be like focused on just fighting and not worried about talking?
They might talk, but both these guys are psychological geniuses.
Right.
I don't know if Floyd will get under Conor's skin. I don't know if Conor can get under Floyd's skin. But I think if Conor was winning and he was talking shit, he might have a chance to get under Floyd's skin.
Right.
Floyd might start thinking, oh no, I'm losing. This guy's still,
See, that's kind of where the point I was going is like he might be able to get under his skin, just because in all their little press conferences and stuff. Maybe just because Mayweather's a terrible public speaker, but it seems like he gets under his skin.
He gets under Conor's, or Conor gets under his.
Conor gets under his.
Oh yeah,
just because but that could just because he's terrible at public speaking.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to remember
he relies on throwing money around to be a good.
You're
speaker.
going up against a living and breathing Guy Ritchie character who is so. Besides the fact that he is a really bad dude.
Really, that's.
Yeah, he is so quick wit. I mean, he has shut down everybody that he's fought in the UFC aside from Nate Diaz. He beat them before they ever stepped in the cage.
Yeah. And that's the same thing that Floyd has.
He had them beat before they ever stepped in.
Nate and Floyd are the same. They both have that mental toughness where, like, this guy is not getting under his skin. So.
Right. He won a couple verbal exchanges, though, that I think he really rattled Floyd, and that was why Floyd had his guys surrounding
Voltron assembled.
Yeah. But what were they going to do? I mean, there were three guys from Team Straight Blast, and they were like, "Go ahead."
Yeah. What are you going to do?
What are you
3 juice heads versus 3 trained fighters.
Here's a low kick. Now what?
Yeah, that would have been worth $100 to see those Roy dudes get fucking smashed on stage. But I think the biggest one when Conor said, "Why do you have a book bag on stage you can't even read?" I think that was the one that got under.
Dude, that's another thing, man. This fight has given me the best memes I've seen. Non-political. I saw a meme. I'm not even kidding you.
Non-political. That was good.
I'm not even kidding you. I cried so hard reading this meme because reading this meme. It said, Mayweather beats his women and hugs his opponents, and McGregor beats his opponents and hugs his women.
That's true.
That's pretty good.
That's the main reason.
So good.
I'm an MMA guy. I love MMA, and Conor doesn't beat his wife, so or at least that we know of.
Right.
So
yeah,
like she doesn't have any bruises on the regular. So
yeah.
I would have to say with that little, with that little one that he's got, I think that's a very good family man.
Oh yeah,
he's very.
He's been
wholesome.
with that girl since
a
he was
long
on.
time.
Dude, he was on welfare working as a. He was a
Before any of
part-time
this shit
plumber
happened.
on welfare, and she was with him.
Yep.
They're an awesome story.
Yep.
Yeah, and he, you know, he said in many interviews he dedicates everything to her and this, that, and the other. So, you know.
Well, we're going to take a short little break. We'll get back to this in a little bit. I knew Greg had to pee. He was giving me the googly eyes.
Dude, it was so bad. I was like, we started, it's like, oh my God, I have to pee.
We're going to go get some drinks. Greg's going to relieve his bladder, and we will be back in about 5 to 7 minutes.
Like, Jake cued the music. It's like I'm turning on the music for us to start, like, shit, I should have peed.
Oh my goodness. That is that.
We live now?
We are live and in charge.
And we're back.
I don't have to pee. That's good.
Yeah.
Right now.
I peed too. Just
I did not. I didn't even get out of the chair. That was a mistake.
Well, yeah. Well, I was at the bar and I had to have 4 beers while I was there.
Yeah. I thought you were only gonna have one more beer. Huh? When after I left, you were like, "I'm just gonna have."
I
one
did.
More.
I had 4 altogether. I had 3 before you got there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was on my 3rd one when you got there. So what happens when I know people?
Before we get
I only paid for 2.
Before we get back into this fight talk, I just wanted to make sure I put out SoundCloud.com/Corey Gagné, a.k.a. Not the King. He is the one providing all the music tonight, which I super appreciate. The guy is super nice. He puts out a lot of music. He lets everybody put it out on the streams, and you don't get blocked or banned or taken out.
Music on YouTube is
it gets so crazy, and this guy puts out really cool music. He's putting it out at least a song a week and keeping it legit. So I just wanted to Gagné, Gagne.
We should get some Tsunami Rising in there.
Also,
they already told us
that might be Ganya.
Ganya.
Oh,
jeez, Louise.
Tsunami Rising.
And we killed a dog.
I got the one up here. I was touching
they're always my go-to music for my
Yeah,
videos because they already said we could use it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
the camera just caught me like pulling away from the dog. Like, God, don't fucking hurt me.
The Orioles are up 15-3. Just like
goddamn, goddamn.
Man,
So they might win.
It's a good chance.
You're welcome, Yankees fans.
Anyways, if you type in SoundCloud Not the King, he will pop up. He is an awesome creator, and I want to thank him for the music that I am playing tonight.
Me too.
So that was one thing that Aubrey brought up while we were on break is when you come out to the UFC, it's pretty much team. It's pretty much you, your team. You're coming out, you're serious, you're preparing for battle. The last time I watched a Mayweather fight, which I guess that was his last fight, is when he faced Pacquiao, right?
He fought Andre Berto.
Yeah, but it was his last big.
Yeah,
Right.
nobody watched it.
Yeah.
So when he came out last time, or to the Pacquiao fight, he had the Burger King.
I remember. Yeah,
Oh my
Remember
God, I
that?
forgot
He
about
came
that.
out with the Burger King
Yeah.
and Justin Bieber.
he's come out with 50 Cent before.
He's
right?
come out with 50 Cent before. I do remember this though. Didn't Manny Pacquiao come out with Jimmy Kimmel?
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
He
Yeah,
did.
during that fight. So my thing is, it's going to be a big fight. Do we have any suggestion, anything at all, of who might show up behind these fighters?
I have a suggestion. So Diddy or P Diddy or
P Dunkle,
P Daddy, whatever.
Sean Diddy Daddy
and Mark
Kings.
Wahlberg actually did a bet on the Pacquiao Mayweather fight.
Oh, I saw that commercial.
Pacquiao.
Bring the mic a
or
little close to you. I
Mark
can't-
Wahlberg was
There
for
you go.
Pacquiao, and Diddy was for Mayweather. Well, of course, Diddy won his money. So Mark Wahlberg and Diddy are getting in another bet for $200,000,
Jeez.
and Wahlberg is putting all his money on McGregor.
Yeah.
And so I think it could be Mark Wahlberg. If I read this article and I was fucking McGregor, I'd be like, why don't you come out?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's all for charity, but Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, I think
Yeah, he
he's
was
pretty
the
fucking
fighter
cool.
for God's sake,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, he's Irish. Connor's Irish. So
Right,
it's like,
and I feel like Mayweather just comes out with people that are making a lot of money at the time. It sounds like, and then,
who's the most popular?
yeah, and then everybody
Yeah.
else just comes out like with somebody that likes them.
Listen, if there really is a God, Conor McGregor comes out with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, as Mick.
Oh my
as
God,
Mick,
yeah,
yeah.
dude, that would be so good.
As Mickey from fucking Snatch. That would
Look,
be.
if I can hear, I'll fight you for it somewhere
fight you for
in
it.
in the start of that fight. I'm good. It's totally worth the $100.
Hey, Floyd, you like that?
If Brad Pitt comes out shirtless with taped up, like ready to go.
Like in his place.
This shit ain't ever gonna happen.
No, but
No,
With a little bit of Dropkick Murphys playing.
Oh, that would be good.
I'm trying to give Justin something to fap to later.
Yeah, I would definitely do that. I know the Showtime executives who have, from what I can tell, have done a pretty terrible job with this whole thing. leading up had just told McGregor.
What do they do outside of stuff like this?
Yeah, have a TV show or have a TV company, but they just told UFC or McGregor and Dana White that McGregor needed an Irish singer to do the Irish national anthem like 2 days ago. They need to have somebody to do that. I mean, I'm sure like
Dropkick Murphys.
that would be dope,
dude.
I mean, but like Connor had Sinead O'Connor sing for him once, and
it was awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Really?
Yeah, when he fought Chad
yeah.
Mendes.
When he beat at the.
Huh.
Which one was
That
that?
woman's
that
like
was
almost
189.
fucking
Yeah,
crazy
189.
Right now, isn't
She can sing.
she? Yeah,
But
she
because
can
Aaron
sing.
Lewis did Country Boy
For
for
Chad Mendes.
Yeah.
But my
That's
point is,
dope.
It was.
they
it was
have
cool.
he needs
That's
someone.
cool.
He needs someone to sing for him. Floyd probably will have someone sing for him.
Yeah, like 50 Cent would do the national
I don't. I
anthem.
think they're
I
beefing,
forget.
right?
No, it's they have Demi Lovato doing
Demi
the national
Lovato is
anthem.
going to do the national anthem which I think is really cool because she is real.
She's a big
honestly-
fight fan.
She is,
You are right.
and she
yeah.
is working out. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
she
she's
wants
been
to
training
be,
with, like,
she's been training to be a
like-
fight.
She was
yeah,
banging-
like
fighter.
hitting
She was
pads
banging
with,
Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
Well, she was also hitting pads with Sylvester Stallone. So,
Well,
I mean,
Yeah. And he was
all
probably.
right. Just because he's an actor doesn't mean he can't hold the pads for.
That's really bad.
Hey,
Oh, fuck
I keep bringing up Dropkick Murphys. I just saw them in concert, and their intro to their concert was like watching a movie. It was so dope, and I feel like it would be really good if they did it.
I feel like
It's never gonna happen.
I know, but it'd be so
They're
cool.
Boston Irish. They're not
I know,
Irish.
but it's close
You gotta
enough.
understand that fucking McGregor is from Ireland.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know,
but
but it's not
Boston
like
Irish made him the main
Mayweather
event.
is from Boston, so it's not like he's going to be affiliated with him anyway, just because he's from the U.S.
Well, yeah, but he's not Irish though. He is.
It's just going to
black.
be you two.
Yeah, you too.
No.
oh god,
I might start rooting for fucking
Mayweather.
Mayweather. If he comes out the with or without you, or
I'm
some
sorry.
shit.
I never trust that motherfuckers. I'll never trust you two when that fucking album came up on my phone.
And
with
I
all
can't
these-
get rid of it.
I can't even get rid of it anymore.
Thank
it's
you.
still there.
Yeah.
Ah,
This
no,
guy's been wearing a beanie for 30 fucking years.
the edge.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
on, man.
Like, what is that?
wash your hair. You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't even have a name. He's got
Right.
he is a noun. He's the edge.
Such just you give yourself nicknames. This is not to get off track, but you give yourself nicknames. The Edge and Bono. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
You don't give yourself a nickname.
No.
Yeah,
You gotta get your nickname.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, fighters have to earn a nickname.
Yeah.
I get musicians can just be like, I'm
Slash.
fucking 50 Cent, or I'm now
Slash.
I'm Diddy,
Yeah.
Slash.
Slash.
But someone is going to be performing live behind them. So I don't know. I don't know if that's just for the anthems or if they'll actually have like a performer playing
Doing
them
the
out.
walkout.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like to look at some of like the betting pools and like you can bet on who's gonna win the fight, but there's got to be some crazy bets like will the Burger King make an appearance?
Oh, there was one. I got him and I can't remember it now.
But that's like not cool anymore.
What, the Burger King?
Sneak King.
Yeah. That's probably like a.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
And people will
The
bet on
Burger
it.
King was technically never cool to me. He was scary as shit.
He's
He
kind of
was
weird.
a fucking weirdo.
It was a little weird. But I know Mayweather or McGregor is winning, or people are betting on McGregor
Yeah,
a
I mean,
lot. A
What
lot.
do you know what the odds
that's
are?
just good hype, though.
Like
The odds
betting
are-
odds?
That's good hype.
Does anybody have the betting odds?
right
It's,
now I don't.
I think right now, when I read this morning, which of course is going to
Everybody
continue to
watched
get
me
more
do that.
equal and equal. This morning it was like if you bet $100 on McGregor, you got $250. But originally, if you bet $100 on McGregor, it was like $4,000.
Yeah, the odds were
Yeah, he was-
way
Originally,
off the, yeah,
but like
the
it
odds are
continues
way off the
to
charts
improve,
before.
and this is
They're
off the
always
Bleacher
going
Report.
to.
It will continue to improve until tomorrow night
Yeah.
too.
The last time that I looked at the odds, McGregor was actually there were better odds for McGregor to beat Mayweather than there were for Canelo or I think Shane Mosley. Like real legit
That was in
guys.
the thing too, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look it up now, so I could. Let
So
you
that
know
just
when I
goes
get
to
it.
show you that they're landing the white demographic, right?
Yeah,
Got him.
one would say.
I want McGregor to win so bad. It's just not.
I just know that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's just hurting my heart.
As much as I want it to, just like you, it's not going to happen. I as much as I want it to, I'll say it again and again.
Well, that's what.
It's just.
I was
I
originally
just
don't
have
see
that
it
Dumb and Dumber
happening.
feeling like, so you're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Because I'm watching that shit knowing he's
Like,
going to lose.
Exactly. I'm still going to fucking watch it.
We were
For sure.
Just
I
to
was
fucking
planning
hope.
on watching the fight with Mike at my cousin's house.
But you bailed.
But Greg messaged me and was like, "Hey, can we get the fight at your place? Because Becca really wants to watch it and she'll pay $50." I was like, "What?"
Jesus.
Damn.
All right, deal.
Well, I was like, "Let's see if we can get some people together." And then, we've gotten a handful of people since.
So how?
Oh, Andrew said he's coming.
Okay. Is he gonna bring
So
money?
the question is, how much
He's
is the
bringing
fight for high?
He still has a
def?
job.
I think it's $100.
It's $100
Oh, no, I
So
think
okay, can I talk about the bets real quick again? I'm sorry, I
Sure.
read the real article.
for a person that
Um,
didn't want to be on this thing anymore.
I found the report that I read this morning. Opening with Mayweather as an enormous negative 7,000 favorite, you would only win $1.43 off $100 originally. And McGregor was a plus 1,100 underdog, so I was way off. But for a $100 bet, you would win $1,100. Since
Not
then,
anymore.
obviously, that's gotten a lot better. So now it's negative 333, so you win $30.03 off a $100 bet for Mayweather. But I was right about McGregor. If you put $100 in earlier, I don't know, it's probably not the same tonight, you would make $250.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Well,
Right,
people believe there's a
Oh
chance.
man, it would be so awesome.
I want it so
Look,
bad.
this fight is doing so much for I mean, the money that it's generating
it's
just
bringing
in
so
bets,
much
man.
money in. And those people running those betting websites, they are praying that Mayweather wins
Yeah,
because they're going to be paying out the ass
Oh, yeah.
if McGregor wins. It's going to be so bad.
This thing's doing so much now. It's breaking the live attendance gate of all time before it's even sold out.
Yeah,
it's already past Mayweather Pacquiao.
Well, yeah, when the nosebleed seats are
$5,000.
ridiculous amount of money.
So Jake, somebody just looked it up, and the cheapest price on a ticket was like $1,900.
God damn.
Yeah.
That was the cheapest price.
And that's
That was like
So
standing. No, that was like standing
Yeah.
outside of the
That's like-
Coliseum.
yeah,
In the bathroom.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That is standing at the urinal.
You get to
Yeah,
watch
and
like the
you're
little.
not allowed to leave.
You're the one that's giving people lotion and
Yeah,
stuff when they're
exactly.
walking out of the bathroom.
And you're paying to do that.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. And we complain about going to like a Ravens game for you guys, Eagles game for me. $200 for a ticket. I wouldn't.
I won't pay it. I can't do it.
No, dude, there's not a better seat for that kind of event than your living room.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I
sure
had-
the energy is awesome, but
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
until you're losing,
Yeah, and you don't want to be there
because
anymore.
then the energy is non-existent.
Not the energy you want.
Energy is
Like,
not there.
When I went to the Eagles game against the Browns last year, they smashed the Browns. So it was
well-
awesome. It was Carson Wentz's first game. So if he goes on to be a great quarterback, I'll have that to talk about. And it was awesome. Would rather watch it at home.
See, when we went to the Ravens game, I had a lot of fun because we just kind of crushed the Jets, and we paid a lot of money for good tickets. So it's a win and loss
Help
thing.
that old motherfucker up
Well,
on
you
that
were,
couch.
where were you sitting for the Eagles
Can't.
game?
We were up.
500s.
We were up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were up. in
Yeah,
the top.
I don't think I'd want to sit up
Yeah,
high.
you get good view. I mean, you could see
Right.
everything, but
I
like,
get a really good view off my couch.
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like at
Exactly.
home, especially with a fight, you're so far away for a fight. It's like watching
Oh yeah.
two people in the
You're
middle.
literally
Yeah.
well. My vision's terrible right now. I'd just be looking at the cage and then like, oh, something happened.
That's absolutely true.
Mike
for you.
found a new friend over there. Like,
Yeah.
oh
So
yeah.
Everybody, that's Frank.
Dirty
So there
Frank.
are. It says as it stands, tickets are widely available, but start at $1,400 per seat and go as high as $16,000. I mean, if I had honestly, but if I had the money to blow, like that woman who just won $750 million,
I'd bet
I'd
on
go.
the fight.
I'd buy tickets for
I wouldn't
everybody.
do it.
$16,000.
I would buy the biggest TV I could and put it on the side of my house and invite everybody over
Yeah.
and,
yeah, I could.
and
Yeah,
bet a couple grand on it.
I'd rather bought like the TV that's in like the Cowboy Stadium, that giant ass TV.
yeah.
I'd rather have that.
Except if you put it in your yard, you'd be like,
Yeah. Yeah. Like the punch comes in, you're like, whoa. Whoa.
This is awesome. You'd have to slow it down so you can keep up.
Can you imagine though the hush that's gonna fall over that fucking crowd if he drops Mayweather?
Oh.
It's going to be like,
I don't think it'd be a...
Can you imagine? I mean, it's gonna be like when the Undertaker lost. Like it's gonna be like silence, man.
Now, I don't know if that's true because I feel like there's more McGregor fans there than anything. I feel like it's going to
Yeah, but most of them don't really believe he's gonna do it, do they?
well,
I think they really.
there's a lot of fans, like, no offense to Becca.
Yeah, he's with me, man.
There's
They're like,
no one.
No one should think he can win. Or,
As much as I want him to, I just don't think there's people there that think he's gonna win.
Yeah.
I feel like the people that are going to put out that money. I don't know. I could be wrong. I guess.
I don't.
I mean,
know.
maybe they're hoping.
I'm
for
getting this really nostalgia thing of like not to go political, but like the Donald Trump thing. Like, there's no way he could win.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
You know?
Oh shit, he won.
So
And the hush falls on the crowd.
all right.
Yeah.
So what percent?
Now
of,
what?
What percent of fans do you think are going to be there for Mayweather? What percent of fans do you think are going to be there?
Oh,
for
it's
McGregor?
gonna be
60-40 at best.
Yeah,
and
for
60-40, I would say.
Maybe 70-30.
Yeah.
For who?
McGregor.
For
McGregor.
McGregor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dude, Irish people travel.
Oh yeah,
They
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
travel. And you know what else
They're
they
gonna
do?
be there.
They're already
Just-
spending what $1,000 to come to the United States.
Yeah.
You know what else is crazy? Irish people also manifest themselves in non-Irish people for Conor McGregor fights. Like myself. Like,
Oh yeah, I got a little bit of Irish
yeah,
in me.
yeah. All of a sudden, like
I'm
you're the
1/100th
fighting
Irish.
Yeah.
You're more Irish than that, I guarantee you.
Well, you know, but he's right though. People just like he's Irish. I like. There's something about like the fighting Irish accent culture that people get onto. And again, Mayweather's kind of not a likable dude. You know what I mean?
He's
So-
a very unlikable dude.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched some of the behind the scenes things, and would I get along with him hanging out? Maybe, probably, but like he just seems.
I mean, I get along with him really well if he
I'm
gave
so-
me like a stack of cash.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm really picky on my money, and I don't. The whole fact that he's throwing money around is just.
I would follow him around to the strip clubs and just grab the
Yeah.
money as he's throwing it. Sorry, bitches.
Everything's
Yeah.
on me.
I
I'm
would-
not just
yeah,
throwing
I
it
would
away.
pick
I'm gonna
up-
pay for
I would
things.
pick up the money with my butt cheeks before
Yeah.
the girls can.
I'd beat him to it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about his like the way he carries himself and the shit that he said, because he's not a good talker. The things that he says, like it's almost kind of gross.
Yeah.
And then you hear McGregor like talking all this crazy shit about the fights.
Yeah.
You're like,
But
yeah,
he's like a
he's right.
family man with a baby, and he's been with the same chick forever since
He
he was
knows
on
how to
welfare.
play
It's
the
like,
game. That's all.
Oh, you're Ward Cleaver that can punch. I like you. And Irish people, like people with an accent, I just hit the mic. They can get away with talking crazy shit. They just can't. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Because you can't understand them. Some certain.
true.
Yeah.
I don't know
get
what
it-
he said, but it sounded
They
awesome.
get onto
Yeah.
a rant. And you just
It's
just
like
go
he's
with
singing to me.
it. When I was in New York City, we had a bartender, and he was like majorly Irish, and I had to ask him 3 times what he said, even
Oh,
though he's
yeah.
speaking English.
Yeah,
You probably tipped the shit out of him too.
Well, he was a good guy.
Well, when Aaron and I went to New York City, we went
guess,
around.
right?
We went around Central Park, and the dude that the horse driver guy,
The
was-
horse driver guy.
He was you know, because you did the horse and buggy thing. He was Irish, and he had a good, understandable accent. But I was like,
he
man,
wasn't a Mick.
yeah, I was like, I'd have sex with him. Probably. You know, just something about an accent, you know, just gets me
Oh
going.
my goodness!
And I'm as straight as they come, you know. So it's
I
it had me
guess
going.
not.
No, you just don't have the balls to admit it on air, you know. What I'm saying?
No, I mean,
Look, all right.
but like
If
who,
David
though?
Beckham
I'd
came up
cuddle with
behind you and was
McGregor.
like,
Nah, not David.
not
Beckham.
David Beckham.
No,
He's like the hottest guy I could think of. So
really.
He is, yeah.
No, I don't know.
Uh,
I'd have to think about it.
yeah.
There's got to be a guy somewhere.
I would
Get off the mic.
Jake definitely has guy crushes. He's just
Yeah,
just
but I
can't-
just don't know what I. There's a thing about having a guy crush and then a dude that's going to penetrate me. That's a big difference.
Yeah, there is a big difference in that, you know.
I think we're all gonna feel some kind of way about Conor McGregor tomorrow night if he can win.
I mean, it is true. If he whoops the shit out of Mayweather,
I don't know. You
I'll
guys,
let him inside.
I would go from like I would like to cuddle McGregor to like you can go ahead, it's fine.
I don't know.
I'll spread the cheeks if he beats Mayweather.
He's got a pretty big old dick. That you might want to warm up with something else
Yeah,
first. Apparently.
obviously.
So
Even Mayweather was afraid of that thing when it was swinging around his knees. Jesus.
I think that starts and stops with a congratulatory dry tug. Nice to meet you, man. But
yeah, good job. Now put that thing away.
Please.
It's staring
put
at
that
me.
away.
But there is a price for this, and you're gonna have to pay me. And I can pick a really high number because I know you have the money.
Any number you want. Essentially, you just got $100 million.
All right.
Now we got that out of the way.
Jesus Christ, I don't even know where to go from that. I just wanted to touch base on you a little bit because the last time we were here, Justin, we were talking about the John Bones Jones
Oh yeah, surprise
Cormier fight, and what was it? I think Wednesday it came out that he tested positive for steroids.
It's a conspiracy.
And his title was yet stripped away.
No, they have not taken his belt from him.
They're still trying to fight it.
Have not officially taken the belt from him.
Okay.
They're trying to. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
What was it? What was it?
It was some
Temerol?
It was some crazy like German Olympic masking steroid, like some kind of magic steroid.
Yeah, he said he digested
it. Wasn't
it
magic enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I
they
feel like
called it.
Look, the first time you get the dick pills, it just doesn't happen. Accidents don't happen twice.
none of this shit
are they
happened.
testing Conor McGregor for dick pills? Because geez Louise, after what I saw today, might want to get a little blood test on that guy.
All I know is the guy passed 7 tests leading up to the fight, and the test that he took the day of the fight, he pops for steroids. He's either the dumbest fucking fighter on the planet or
something
the tainted supplement.
There was a meme going around of
because look, you can't. Anybody who's like, I'm not even athletic at all, and I know that steroids are a cumulative effect. You have to take them.
Right.
They build up in your system.
That's
and
true.
If you take steroids, like I could see he popped for cocaine. That makes sense.
Yep.
Or methamphetamine, something like that, or Adderall. Like, I just named terrible things, and then I tried to do Adderall to make myself look better. I've never done any of those things. I swear to God.
Liar.
So, yeah, the steroid, it does not make any sense for him to pop
the day of.
The day of. It's not going to do anything. You are correct.
There was
and I don't think it matters because the steroids the day of didn't let him land a head kick on Daniel Cormier.
Why would you?
It's true.
I don't know if it came out real. Like why?
Well,
or
he's saying
he was just really good at covering it to begin with.
He said it was a tainted supplement, so he said it was something that he digested. So however that happens, but there was a meme going around of it was John Jones was like in front of a mic holding a box of Popeye's chicken, and he said it was something I digested, and then then it was a picture of Cormier going like this.
Nice.
Send him a box of
I
chicken.
also saw the Cowboys thing. Did you see that?
Where Jerry Jones hires John Jones.
Just because I mean he'd fit in on the team.
Yeah, he's
well, I mean this has happened a number of times. I mean, we were all ready to write Yoel Romero off because he looks like a fucking action figure at 39 years old.
Right.
Because he popped hot, and he researched it and found out that a supplement that he was taking was actually tainted. They were putting shit in it that was banned by
and wasn't supposed to be in it.
Yeah, the anti-doping organization. And I mean, I don't
possible, but
these guys are responsible for what they put. But look at Chad Mendez. Everybody's calling him a steroid cheat. He is suspended 2 years
for eczema.
For fucking eczema cream because it had a steroid in it.
But Yoel Romero,
come on, I mean they're ruining this kid's career over eczema cream.
With Yoel Romero, the UL USADA went and bought like all the fucking supplement that he was taking that they could find and tested all of them. And they did find some that had this thing in it that's not supposed to be in it. Yeah. So he got cleared. He still had to do 6 months, but he got cleared of that. So maybe it'll happen to John Jones. I don't know.
As a pharmacist, I'm just gonna say like a lot of that shit is not regulated. So you could buy shit at Walgreens and not know what the fuck you're getting.
That's what they're saying.
I mean, that's the basics of it. So I mean, these kids are saying these things, but at the same time, like, I would hope somebody's telling them, like, you don't know what you're getting. Like, this is what it says.
Right.
But it could be anything. I mean, and they've found Viagra in like over-the-counter pills before. I mean, they've found everything.
Well, what they were saying is that like they'll mix this clean supplement, this USADA safe supplement, in the same tub that they mix this tainted like bad supplement or whatever, and they'll mix it and it'll get a little bit of that residue in there, and that's what pops them.
I was gonna say it makes
tainted residue.
It's trying to figure out what makes more sense. Does it make more sense?
Tainted residue.
Okay, so he tested clear all the way up to the fight.
Right.
Now, is there anything that the day of the fight that would make him better that could test positive?
Not for what he popped for, right? The Temerol or whatever it is like a legitimate. It's a steroid, right? It's not a blocker.
No, it's a steroid.
Yeah, so it's
okay. So
it's not like he took like speed or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes more sense that it was an accident or somebody fucked him over. It makes more sense that he got fucked over versus he took something.
They're putting all this stuff out there when they piss these guys. Okay, the technical term would be when they test these guys.
When they do a urine analysis on these,
these
athletes.
They take the urine sample and they test part of it, and then there's the part that they keep. If it pops hot, they have the B sample to test again to make sure that... Because, man, just beyond what she was saying about the pharmaceutical stuff, there's also contamination within the machines that they use.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of variables
I just said that.
of how this thing has to play out. I mean, but I used big words. So it sounds way cooler.
You're older than me, man. You're wiser. It's the knowledge on all that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't buy it. I don't know.
You can't be that dumb to get in so much trouble for so long to come back and then fuck
yourself.
You just can't.
I'm always worried when I go to take a piss test
and you don't even do anything.
And
you don't even do anything.
Aaron's
still scares the shit out of you.
I had 3 beers like a week ago. Am I going to not get this job now? Because they could fuck up and.
But Aaron got piss test twice when she got her job, like within a couple weeks. So it's just a nerve-wracking thing. But I couldn't imagine being in that situation where if you didn't do something,
right?
Now he may very well.
So you think he didn't?
I think you had to be the dumbest person on earth.
He's not the smartest.
But I think kind of Greg got into
Get into the
mic
now.
like, wouldn't it be possible? I mean, day of fight, he could have taken something that had that in it and he didn't realize it, and now that's when he's fucked. And so then he's kind of pushing the limits to begin with because he's doing that kind of shit, and then all of a sudden it happens to have something that's not so good in it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think that
if you're taking anything the day of the fight, it's a stupid move anyway. It doesn't matter
exactly.
Well,
I would be eating, like,
if there's a chance he did,
I'd be eating kale and like eggs and like.
But the other
water.
part of it is,
I wouldn't
though,
even have a Coca-Cola.
if I was coming up clean, I'd just pee in my mouth. It's like I'm thirsty.
I don't know if I go that far.
You're not.
I wouldn't even drink anybody else's water. It's like no.
Oh no.
But the other part of it is, I mean,
not.
that team has, to my knowledge, he has like a nutritionist. Like there's somebody who manages that stuff for them. It doesn't, like, to me, if it's true that he popped, somebody is to blame for that.
Unless it's a tainted supplement that they can't control.
Like last time, the dick pills thing.
He bought it from a friend.
Right, and you know why I believe it? Because he went on the Joe Rogan podcast and was like, I took a cheap version of Viagra that somebody had apparently bought at like a convenience store, or not a convenience. He said it was some kind of
like a corner store,
Mexican version of Viagra or
you
whatever.
get that
and Joe Rogan was like, "Why are you taking that? You're a spry young man." And he was like, "Because it puts how it." I equate it to it puts the twist on the punch. I was like,
Jesus.
I believe it now. I totally believe it.
Just a little bit of horny goat weed, it'll fix it all.
Yeah, I will say, I feel like it's just as likely that he took something versus just as likely as somebody else fucked with the shit that he was drinking that day.
I think it's 50-50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, in an interview before that fight, Donald Cerrone, his training partner, somebody said, "Is it nice to see John Jones living clean and following the rules?" And he said something to the effect of, "What if I were to tell you he isn't?"
Oh my God!
Now,
but he didn't mean it that way.
But
because I followed up on that.
He meant it as like he's still partying and
he said it at the press conference.
Oh my God,
he said
that's the worst thing you could ever say.
It's going to be really hard to fight that.
At the press conference afterwards, though, he was
That's
like, "Look,
tough.
he's like, I'm not going to pretend that I've turned over some new leaf because in all honesty, if I'm being real with you, I am a wild motherfucker, and that's just me. It was like, if I'm being me, I'm not the fake like poster boy that they were trying to make me out to be. I'm a wild fucking guy. And you know what? I look at that John Jones and I'm like, I think if you try to suppress that wild guy, he's not the best fighter in the world. Like when you start to do that to other people who are like artists, when you try to tame like a Mick Jagger or something like that, it's not the same guy.
Let's
my
bring
opinion,
it to the 21st century, like a Justin Bieber. Not a lot of people know who Mick Jagger is anymore.
Nobody cares about Justin Bieber though.
Yeah, well, he's all Jesus up now.
I know who doesn't.
Bring
it full circle.
That's who's not going to be.
You know who I was thinking it's going to be with Mayweather? Taylor Swift, because she came out with a new single tonight, and like, so he's just going to be like, whoever's hot.
Nah, it's
can we get into Taylor Swift for a second? Let's go. She dropped a.
No.
She dropped She dropped a new album.
And here comes the women's section with Aubrey and Justin.
Tidbit. She dropped her new album on Kanye West's mom's death day.
Well, she's going to, in November.
Yeah. So,
oh my god.
So
I like her now.
Cold-blooded
and they have
that
a beef.
is.
They have a beef. So, like, is Taylor Swift cold-hearted as shit?
I mean, I feel like
terrible.
that's super dirty. I mean, maybe, but I mean, it's true. That is what's happening. That
I don't
is
have
true.
any problem with that at all.
happening.
That's hard as
But I
nails.
doubt she
That's
thought about it
gangsta
that
shit.
much.
Yeah, that is.
I'm like really all of a sudden like pretty scared of Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't scared
she
of Taylor
seems,
Swift.
Honestly, I'm like ready for her. She seems a little insane, like she's gonna hang herself. But anyways, go ahead.
Anyways, that song, I've listened to about half of it. It's terrible.
I haven't
I
listened to it
can't
yet.
fucking get into it. The new Taylor Swift song is stupid.
Do you know who's
Can't
not
listen to
songs?
it.
Not
Hold
terrible?
on, before we get into this, let's see if I can play this into the microphone and see if you guys listen and can understand it. But this was John Jones like the week before he was about to fight. He put out something really good with Jason Ellis.
When I celebrate all the shit that I've been through and how I've made it out of it, you know?
You don't think you'll need to go to like a rehab or anything down the road?
No, I don't.
You know you're talking to a junkie right here. Let's just say you know.
I've heard things about your legacy.
Oh yeah?
Yes,
What, legacy?
Yeah, legacy.
John Jones just said something about I got a legacy. This is the greatest day.
Got a legacy, man. And look at you today, man. Look at you today, man. Smiling, looking good. Man, our past don't hold anything over us, man. I'm glad that I have the experience that I have. I'm glad that I've done the things that I've done. I mean, there's some things that I regret. A hit and run with a pregnant woman, I regret that every day.
You didn't know she was pregnant?
I had no clue. I wasn't driving around looking for a woman.
Huh. No, you were like, fuck, I'm in trouble. I gotta get out of here. What if everybody finds out?
But at the end of the day, dude, it's like, dude, it's just my weakness is part of my strength, man. There's no light without your darkness, and so I don't let that shit hold anything over. I'm gonna cut loose. I'm gonna have a great time. I'm gonna celebrate all this shit.
But like he's like, you can clearly hear like he doesn't regret like doing the drugs.
No,
No, he doesn't regret, because he's right, man. With that type of person, the light and the dark, that shit goes together. You can't mess with the formula that is John Jones, and he is, regardless of this shit, he is the baddest dude. He's the best fighter ever.
He looks good. He looked so good in that fight.
He is, man. I mean, there's nobody like him. You can talk about Mighty Mouse Johnson or Conor McGregor or whoever you want to talk about, GSP. Nobody has ever been like John Jones, and nobody, and I think it'll be a long time before we see anybody like him.
Yeah.
Best ever. And it just sucks that something like this will taint his legacy.
What really blows is
If
they
it
were
does.
trying
Hopefully
to
it
do.
doesn't.
They were actually gonna offer him. Dana White come out and was like, "Man, we were working on moving John up and giving him an immediate shot at the heavyweight title. That is a
Stipe Miocic,
big fight."
After all that shit.
Stipe Miocic, like, people don't know who he is, but that is a fucking scary
Oh, he's
dude,
bad,
man.
motherfucker.
That is a scary
He's
guy.
one win away from holding the consecutive defense record.
And I just see that's another Gustafson versus Jones, man, a goddamn war, and we're gonna lose it.
I mean, so Mike's talking about how wonderful he is compared to all the other MMA fighters. I think it's surrounding yourself with good people, because if he was surrounded himself with people who were like, don't fucking do certain shit, he might be McGregor. It might be him versus Mayweather tomorrow.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
instead, unfortunately, you get surrounded by the wrong people, and then
It's all about the reputation, really.
And the crazy thing
It's all
is the
about
crew, the guys that he trains with, like the crew out of Jackson Winklejohn, highly regarded, legitimate guys. The problem is the people he runs with when he's not training.
Yeah.
Right.
He started off with a really good reputation. He kind of killed it a little bit on himself.
Yeah, well, he was kind of fake. He wasn't himself. He was like this church going.
You're the youngest. You're the youngest UFC champion ever, right? You win the UFC title that young, and you can go and beat elite light heavyweights on 3 days training and doing piles of cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point you just go,
it's true.
It doesn't even matter.
Right. It doesn't matter what I do.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not defending that kind of behavior. I loathe that kind of behavior.
Right.
But
if you can do it,
you just got to look at it and go, you know what? If it wasn't for the drugs, some of those guys might be fucking dead.
Yeah.
So maybe he's saving lives.
It's true.
Him doing drugs is like him saving someone's life.
Technically he might have saved lives.
I need to be all strung
cocaine.
out and recovering from a coke party.
Dude, he
fought. Not kill Shogun when I fight him.
He trained for they say he trained 4 days and went in there and beat Ryan Bader like that.
Well, that's
Ryan Bader is the champion of Bellator
well, that's
right now.
Bellator's terrible. But
and he went in there and he
might be terrible. But
he beat a higher level collegiate wrestler. He just schooled him. He went in there and he thrashed Rampage Jackson, who is like, he was the shit, legend.
Yeah, he was the shit at one point.
Look what he did to Shogun Rua. Look what he did to Machida. Look what he did to Rashad Evans. Chael Sonnen.
Daniel Cormier, who is probably the next best light heavyweight of all time.
Sure. Who at shit? I would even go so far as to say heavyweight. Who at 205 is going to beat Daniel Cormier?
Maybe Gustafsson on a good night.
Maybe. Gus on his best night.
That's it.
Well, you guys were also talking about fighting Father Time and stuff. It's
well, that's the thing
Jones
that
is
I was going to
30.
ask.
He hasn't even hit his prime yet.
I know,
yeah, but
he's
with all
young,
this shit
older
going
guys,
on,
it's kind of like
he's
running
not,
to an old folks' home and just
he's
start
not
beating people up.
That's a good point.
Well, he's not in his.
That's a good point.
So you're saying he's not in his prime, but is he even going to have another shot if this doesn't go through?
If he gets, what are they calling for? Are they saying 2 or 4
years is what I heard.
Yeah.
Oh,
if they find it to be,
man.
If they find
so
it
how
to be
long
before?
Before this one, how long was he out? 2 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
Well, no, because he had the year off, and then he fought. He was supposed to fight Cormier, but Cormier pulled out, so he fought OSP. And then, 6 months after that, he was scheduled to fight
Cormier.
Daniel in the summer of 2016, and he got
200.
Right, and he popped for the dick pills thing. So he was off for a whole nother year after that. So. Yeah, but 4 years, man, that's...
Yeah, so would he be able to go fight in Bellator?
No.
He's still on a UFC contract.
He couldn't go fight in Bellator, and he couldn't go fight in boxing. The only thing that he could do is go overseas and fight.
Or something. Because when you bust for, if you busted...
you're still going to look bad no matter what. Nobody's going to pick you up if you look bad.
You can't. You're banned.
People do go over. There's a precedent set for people who got popped in the United States who went and fought in other countries.
No, I'm saying in the United States.
Yeah.
He's done.
If he got busted in Nevada by USADA, and the UFC was like, all right, fuck you, John, we're done with you, we don't want you anymore. He couldn't go fight for Bellator because all the commissions are going to abide by what.
Because it's an athletic
kicked
commission,
out, right? Because who was it that went to Bellator?
He could go to WWE.
Chael Sonnen.
He could go to WWE.
Did he go to
probably make more money?
Bellator,
He's going to collect a paycheck.
Too, the black dude, I can't think of his name.
There's a lot of black dudes.
I know. I'm sorry.
WWE's like, you like dick pills? You like steroids? Right. Come on down.
No, you know what? They actually have a rigorous testing policy.
Yeah, now
I didn't know anything about that, and my daughter got me back into wrestling because she was into it.
Yeah, people are actually getting suspended and shit now.
They do. I couldn't believe it, and they're really into the concussion protocol, like the NFL.
Yeah. They're starting to get it. Now there's no more chairs. You can't do the chair shit.
No. You can do it in the back.
But you know why?
In the back, but not to the head.
It's lawsuits.
Oh yeah, they're all nuts. And then you got
DDP saving lives.
DDP saving lives.
DDP yoga.
Let's
you ever watch the Resurrection of Jake the Snake?
No, I haven't gotten to it yet.
Got
but
to watch that
looks
shit.
Good,
it
man.
almost made me fucking cry, dude.
It looks good.
It's so good. It's on Netflix, and it's all about that DDP yoga. He like brings that dude back to life. It's insane.
I saw the before and after of Scott Hall and Jake.
Yeah. He brings them all back.
Man.
Yeah.
You know, both of those guys ended up in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Because of that shit.
Yeah.
He saved both their lives.
Yeah, it's because the only reason they put him in the Hall of Fame is because he got them all off the drugs and the alcohol. They brought them like to where they could fucking walk on their own again.
And that's crazy to me because if I look when Dallas Simon Page was wrestling and you looked at him that guy deals drugs.
Oh yeah,
that's what I look like.
Well,
that guy's
before he was a
shitbag.
wrestler, he was a wrestler late in his age.
Yeah, he was. He was
and
old.
He was a titty club like owner.
Bouncer.
He was
a bouncer.
That's exactly what he looks like. Just kind of sleazy.
Yeah, he was a sleazy looking dude. It's because he was a sleazy dude, and then he started wrestling,
and now he's a great guy.
Now he's like fucking.
I mean, he's probably always been a great guy. Just public appearance.
He had two things going for him, man. He had the gift of gab, and he was a
big,
he was a big guy who was in shape, and he just. In those bars, in that era, like before the internet, wrestlers went to the. They went to the nudie bar.
Yeah,
they went to the nudie bar, and that's where he got
right after they wrestled. They
and he got picked up,
and they fucking went to the bar, and they.
He was a manager for years though before he ever wrestled.
He's not a Paul Heyman guy. He came in before that, right?
Oh, I don't. Well, I think he might have done a little ECW run.
Maybe,
sure.
But I don't think he's actually. He always credited Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes. All right, guys, it's 10:30. I want to take one more break. I gotta pee. We'll fucking finish this shit up.
We have to talk about the belts.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about the belt.
We have to talk about the belt.
That's gonna be like
stupid
the cliffhanger.
Fucking belt.
That's the cliffhanger right there.
All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
I said the black guy didn't mean to do that.
Holy
Hot
shit!
dogs.
We used to get tore up and go play Furnace Bay.
I want to go play.
Oh my god,
It's so close to my house.
Oh,
That's what's on Principio Furnace?
yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Oh my god,
Down
we
there
would,
in
we would
Perryville.
get up. We would get up super early and go out there and hit the driving range, and then go out and we would take beers with us and go out and just
Get
play
smashed.
the shittiest Happy Gilmore style golf you ever
Yeah,
saw.
let's make sure
man.
we get about 100 balls.
You
People
can buy a
love-
bag at Walmart. I saw
Okay,
that.
okay,
A
good.
bag of balls,
We're
like
gonna need
shitty
that,
balls.
probably.
Yeah, I used to have a shit ton, but I started hitting them out of the river.
Yeah.
and-
All right. Well,
They-
we'll just
they
make
don't
sure to
come
buy
back.
some. Anyway,
All right, there it is, guys. Let's talk about it.
the
Yeah.
money
The
bell.
fucking
That's it.
money.
That
So
is the
ugly.
trophy for the most meaningless yet historically relevant fight that is going to happen in combat sports.
I haven't seen it yet. I've just heard about it.
That is
is-
the money bell.
gross.
I mean, aside from being
It's
like
ugly as
chock
shit.
full of diamonds, it's kind of underwhelming in my opinion.
Right?
Especially
And
with all
also
those.
around that one circle, I feel like it should wrap all the way around.
The diamonds, yeah, just
Yeah.
fucking
Wow,
diamonds and
that-
gold.
and
That's
like-
just what the WC that's what all
Yeah,
boxing
that's
belts look
boxing.
like.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But like all those flags for
There's two countries fighting.
two countries fighting.
Oh yeah.
I mean, honestly, that looks like a fucking plate my grandmother would keep in her china cabinet.
And you'll
Right?
never
on,
eat
on
off
a
of
$7
it. You would
stand.
never fucking eat off
Right,
of it.
Right. Yeah.
That thing stays in the
I don't know
cabinet.
if Meemaw's got a
The
fucking
Ravens
plate
Super
looking
Bowl
like
dish that we have is cooler than that.
And you don't eat off of that either.
Fuck, man, don't eat off that. It's got Flacco on it. Are you kidding?
Oh
We
no!
have
I
a
mean,
Ray
it is
Lewis
made
one,
out of
too.
gator, right? That's what it looks like. So
Some gator skin, some diamonds.
So is it?
It's
why is it
stupid.
teal?
It's
That's their color, man. That's
Gators
the
aren't
WBC's color.
I don't know. That's what we were.
That's
talking
what we
about.
were just saying.
Well, it's America and no, what's the World Boxing Council? That's why they do
Yeah,
that. All the
but-
flags on the
It's I don't know. Oh well. What
Hey,
a
They, you know what? Everybody calls that shit. We're the world champions, but guess where they all defend their belts?
The United States.
United States.
Don't
You're
forget
blocking.
that.
You're blocking your bro's grill in
my
the
bad. Hold
camera.
on, let me
You
He
gotta-
can't help it with that bowling
Big
ball
old
head.
head. It's like when football players like we're the champions of the world. Like, nah, but they only play football in the United States. So
Right. It'd be cool to like cross-platform, like the like maybe the shittiest NFL team goes and plays a Canadian football team and see what happens.
just the Browns go play the
Yeah.
Anaheim something.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
You got to be careful messing with those cold weather guys, man.
That's true.
They're fucking
Tough.
hardcore.
I mean, aren't the Browns technically cold weather guys? Though they're pretty shitty.
Yeah, they're right
Yeah,
there. I mean,
but
with
it's
Cleveland's like
Cleveland,
right on
man.
the bridge or right
It's
on
fucking they're
the
terrible.
water.
Since we're kind of talking about football for a
Fucking
second.
pet cemetery.
We
of
can't talk
football.
about it too much,
I
but we
know.
can talk about it.
All right, so the Patriots haven't won a game yet. Do you think they do that on purpose?
In preseason?
Yeah.
Because the Patriots don't give a fuck about
Well,
preseason.
they're not.
They're
Yeah,
just trying
they're
stuff.
just
I'm just
playing
saying,
shit. Yeah.
Well, they're not, I don't think they're
Has
intentionally. I think they're
Brady
just,
started a game?
Yeah, he started today.
Do you guys know what the
You gotta really
Do you
talk
guys
in
know
that
what the
mic.
preseason record is like on previous years? Because I hear what you're saying. I think that's. I
They-
hope that's wonderful.
They generally
but I would
don't
like to know.
win in the preseason, but it's like the Eagles are looking great in the preseason. Carson Wentz
Right.
looking amazing, but that doesn't, you know.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Do you think the Patriots play shitty on purpose?
No.
No, I think they're just trying different shit.
I think-
you know?
It's
Yeah, I
possible,
mean,
which
I
that
don't
makes
know.
sense. I feel like the Ravens, they play to win just so that the players that are trying to be part of the team are playing to win.
Yeah, I feel like maybe
And that makes sense to me.
Harbaugh probably is like, you know what? I care about these players. Belichick's like, fuck everyone. I'm trying to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
But sorry for the Ravens. When they win preseason, they do well. We shit
They did.
last year. Shit.
You are
and
correct.
The entire season we shit as well. So, I mean, this
Yeah.
is looking good. I mean, knock on wood, all the wood. Greg's head. I mean, we'll see.
Let's all watch Everett make a bed right now.
At least the Ravens have a couple championships,
Oh,
you guys.
Gotta make this
Right.
pillow
That.
perfect so I
I'm
can
an
lay
Eagles
on
fan.
it.
Yeah, not to
Oh,
say anything.
there we go.
I've gotten to the
There
point
we
where I'm
go.
always going to root for
Perfect.
the Eagles just because of that.
Thank
just
you.
to help you out, Justin.
We need all the help we can
Except
get.
for when the Ravens are in the playoffs and you can go fuck yourself.
Fuck
That
you.
guy
Jesus.
who he made some kind of request that when he dies,
Yeah,
he
I
wanted
was
the
gonna-
Eagles to lower him into
Oh
the
my
ground so he
God,
could
yeah.
let him down one more time.
Dude, and did you hear what happened afterwards? So
No
they
way.
couldn't get Eagles players, but all the pallbearers wore Eagles jerseys.
That's
Oh,
hilarious.
jeez.
Oh my god.
We did
Yep.
that
Terrible.
for a friend. who was an Eagles fan. Well, swear to God.
But you didn't think about that. At
a friend of ours passed away, and we all put on Eagles jersey. I had to borrow an Eagles jersey from Justin. I looked like I was wearing a Snuggie, man, because he's so much bigger than me. That might happen later.
It was starting to come off.
It's because you're fucking it up. Help him out, Greg. Does he know what he's doing over there, Greg?
No. It's yeah.
Whoa.
And we're back.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Woohoo. All right. Anyway.
All right. We gotta.
All right. So we started to talk about the belt, then we got completely sidetracked.
Yeah.
So what?
Football. Go Ravens. Eagles suck.
No, the Eagles are fine. We don't play them this year, so they don't have that loss for them.
Thanks, guys.
Fantasy football's coming up.
And all Ravens players love Torrey Smith, so I really do wish him wonderful luck.
I didn't like Torrey Smith until this year because he's now an Eagle.
He's a fabulous player. And he's a good soul.
Hopefully,
no. He was a fabulous player until he cut his dreads.
On the slim chance that the Eagles win,
this is
I hope it's because Torrey Smith catches a touchdown for the win, for the Super Bowl.
No, and that's coming from the 40-year-old with the ponytail. For real.
That's why you're
speaking of fantasy
Torrey
football,
Smith cut his dreads.
Yeah, I've been waiting. Am I gonna get it?
It's active next weekend.
Yeah,
next
I know.
Saturday.
I gotta.
Okay, next Saturday.
What's
Next
the one
Saturday?
thing that we? What's the one thing we know about?
Playing golf.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. The one constant with fantasy football.
I always lose.
Never let John Hickman hold the money.
Oh yeah.
No
name dropping. My God.
Jeez.
I'm sorry, John. I'll give you a beer
I thought
tomorrow
you meant that I always lose in the championship because that's what.
No, I just wanted to do a quick question. I think it'd be a really good thing. We can go around the table. We'll start doing a couple things. We got about 15 minutes left. A couple quick topics. We can go around the table. See what everybody's thinking. If you were number one in the snake, who is your first draft pick? If you got any pick you could do, you're saying David Johnson, Arizona Cardinals running back.
What are we talking like coming out of college?
No. Like in
fantasy. Any fantasy, any football player. If you were
you're
number one in the draft pick, who's your first pick?
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, this is terrible. I have nothing.
David Johnson.
David Johnson is a really good pick. I would say ODB, but he got kind of hurt last week.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'd be my first round, but I was mentioning this to Jake the other day. One of my top picks will be Justin Tucker. And I say this because
he gets so many
kickers,
fucking points.
Him as a kicker makes so many points. Honestly, more points than a lot of other players. Quarterbacks sometimes, running backs, or maybe even wide receivers, depending on who you have. So I think he is a safe bet. I think even this preseason, he is like 3-0 on 50+.
Guess who's going to steal Justin Tucker from you?
It all depends on who's quick on that, or who's first on that snake.
If you took him first overall, I'd be like, Arby, that's kind of dumb. But it's your
hey,
pick.
two-time champion in 3 years.
If I have to
last year.
If I have to make a pick though, I think in the division that they're playing in, I think Marshawn Lynch is going to fucking run wild.
He could. That's very
He's going to run
like
all
Hulkamania
over. Yeah, he is.
Before he said the N word.
Dude, he's playing for his home team. That's where he fucking grew up, man.
Yeah,
he is going, and that division, he is going to run all over.
The
Raiders.
I love the Raiders. I really do. Like if that's my,
I love
that would
their
be
colors.
my second or third team. To be honest, I love the Raiders. I really hope
Even
the
that
best
they're
for them.
in Las Vegas now.
And when I listened to rap when I was a kid, everybody loved him.
We'll
So.
deal with it.
They ain't in
So
Oakland no
give me a
more.
name, Greg. Who's your first pick?
So, I don't know if I could tell you my first pick, but I could tell you a group that I would pick, and this is just me being based on a Ravens fan, but the Ravens defense are going to kill it this year.
You think?
Yes. I couldn't pick a quarterback or something because I know they're going to play against the Ravens defense, and they're not going to play well against the Ravens defense. Because I feel like the Ravens defense is going to carry in all year, so I couldn't pick a Ravens offensive player because I don't know if they're going to do well, but I know our defense is going to do well.
Next question.
And honestly, it's been our Ravens defense who did well for the past 10 years now. But I will have to say, if I'm going to pick a sneak at the very, very end,
You're really going to throw out your fucking secret right now?
everybody knows this secret.
No, this is the
Okay,
secret I think I
I'll
told.
keep it to
No,
myself
go
then.
ahead.
Yeah, you got to tell us now.
Jay Cutler.
You think?
I would if you needed a quarterback. If you needed a backup
yeah,
quarterback.
if you need a backup, you never know how he's going to do it. He's just such a shady motherfucker. I can't trust that dude.
The memes are great.
The memes are great, and
he also doesn't care that much.
He doesn't. No, it was funny. He was in a
him.
press conference. They were like, "Well, you weren't expecting to come back to the league. I mean, you were going to be a commentator. Are you in shape to play in the league?" And he goes, "Well, with all due respect, I mean, I am a quarterback, and you don't really have to be in shape to be a quarterback."
there was also
he said that,
and Carson Palmer standing over there going,
"Don't do it. You're killing yourself."
Well, there was also somebody said, I don't know if this is true. It's just a rumor that I got wind of that his wife wanted him to play.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Kristen Cavallari actually pushed for him to actually go back. He wasn't even considering. She kind of wanted to go back, but of course she did. I mean,
yeah,
she has
he
3
just made
kids
$10 million.
He has all the money.
and Colin Kaepernick's over here going, I can't even get his analyst spot that's open.
Yeah, right.
God, dude, yeah.
That's a whole different issue.
Yeah, I think that like week 12, a quarterback is going to get hurt on a team, and they'll sign Kaepernick, and he'll come in, and he'll come in, and he'll still suck.
They're working on trade. They're looking. Well, they're working.
They got
what?
that Deshaun Kosher or whatever.
Yeah, they're trying to. The rookie. They're
got
trying to
players.
push him into. I feel like the Browns are going to sign.
It's the Browns.
No
Yeah.
way. They
Dude,
just
they're
paid
trying to work
14
on that jersey name, that long jersey name of quarterbacks
Yeah.
they've
They're
had. And I feel like
working-
if anybody's going to sign him, it's going to be the Browns.
No.
That's the funnest thing
Why?
to watch
They just
in
got that
football.
Osweiler. I mean, they just.
They're selling him.
Osweiler?
Who's going to take him?
Who's going to take Osweiler?
Nobody wanted him. That's why they picked him up.
Somebody who just lost a quarterback is getting ready to pick up, trying to get Osweiler.
There's no way.
Is it
It ain't happening.
the Texans?
The Texans had him.
The Texans just got rid of him.
No,
The
it's not
Texans just got rid of him. He gave. This is
They
how
did,
fucked up
yes.
they gave the Browns Osweiler plus
The
a draft pick.
The Dolphins.
They got Cutler.
That's the shit.
Yeah,
When I
that's
hear
not
that,
it.
when I
Yeah,
hear
no.
stuff like that, I'm like, man, Kaepernick should be playing.
I agree.
Well, the
What the
problem
fuck
is he
is-
wants
you know,
like
Kaepernick, I understand he's got a stigma to him. I understand that he's had a couple bad seasons. The motherfucker did make it to a Super Bowl.
he's not
He
good
made
enough
it
to
to a
make.
Super
He
Bowl.
wants.
He's
He wants
not
like.
gonna do that again. I'm gonna be
It's the
honest.
money. It's the
know
money.
And the thing, Kaepernick does come with some baggage, which is whatever. I mean, if you're looking for somebody who's going to do decent, you're looking for somebody who's going to do decent. Obviously, nobody believes that he's going to do well, or they would have picked him up.
For
I
what
mean,
he wants to
here's
be
the
paid.
thing: the Ravens picked up a guy off, what a football league, arena
That's
football
different.
league.
That's different.
But because
So different.
they did that for a reason, because they didn't want Kaepernick to start looking better than Joe Flacco.
No, it's because Ozzie Newsome knows
No.
that what real talent is.
And Kaepernick wouldn't look
And
better
I
than
agree,
Flacco.
Kaepernick wouldn't be
There's
real.
no
I mean,
way.
there's many of reasons, but you're not going to put Kaepernick on a team where you really like your quarterback.
All right, we're gonna move on. I don't want to keep talking about it. I don't like the motherfucker, and just done.
I do love his afro though. That shit.
He's
I wish I had an afro.
I do too. I would
Yeah.
trade these fucking flowing locks for an afro tomorrow.
If I
For sure.
if I could turn this into an afro and not be called out for it, I would.
It's cultural appropriation. We should
Yeah.
move on.
We're all equal. Anyways,
Fight picks, man. I want somebody to put their balls on the table. I want to hear what you think.
yeah, I just really worked hard to not use copyright music so I could keep monetized and not have my shit blocked. The last thing I'm gonna do is put my balls on the table. Fight picks. It's happening tomorrow. $100 a pay-per-view, which is to me is insane. It's insane. But you know what's more insane? When we were in New York City, you could go to the bar and pay $20 to get in to watch the fight. Which I'm like, that doesn't even include a drink.
Just
That's
$20 to come
to
watch.
get in the door and you can
Fuck
watch it.
all that.
That's insane.
Get 10 friends together. You know.
Not even.
I guess if you don't have 10 friends, $20 sounds
Well,
good.
I'm really cutting it short for 10. But fight picks, I will just go ahead and say mine because I've already said it before. As much as I want Conor McGregor to win, I don't think he's going to win. Mayweather's going to play the point game. He's going to stay defensive like he always does. And he will get the win, and he'll go 50-0, making him the most undefeated, most wins of a boxer in history. until he runs out of money and I'll have to do another fight. Which will happen because he's just stupid with his money. And that is my decision. And that's what I'm sticking to. And on to you, Justin.
McGregor in a 4th round knockout.
You really think that's going to happen?
I'm going against the
grain. I heard
your
balls hit the table.
They were heavy, too.
Look.
Like this.
I'm going to do something very stupid and take Mayweather on his word. He's going to if he decides to fight aggressive, he might get knocked out. So McGregor in 4.
There's no way.
Okay. You were very succinct with your prediction. I'm going to be long-winded, and here's why. This whole thing has been entertainment. The whole thing, the whole way through, has been nothing but hype and entertainment, and it's been, they've pitted a star from one sport versus a star from another. I think that they all realize there's a whole lot of money in another one, and it would not shock me. I want to see McGregor win because I'm a huge MMA fan, and I think that boxing through the bullshit with the promoters it's a dying sport, and MMA is true fighting. But I think that from a promoter standpoint and from an entertainment standpoint, there's a whole lot of money in seeing this thing end with some kind of horseshit like a cut that McGregor can't continue or something like that.
So you're thinking it's going to be like
I see a schmoz ending. I do.
Well, here's where I do agree with you. I just don't see that happening because why? And the reason I disagree is because there could have been a lot of money in a Mayweather Pacquiao too.
Not after the first one though.
Yeah, it was so boring.
As him saying that he was injured.
Well,
he could have came back and he could have did something.
That fight, it did 4 million buys, and then Mayweather's next fight didn't break 100 million buys, man.
Because nobody knew who that other guy was.
Because he let so many people down with the Pacquiao fight.
I can side with Mike when he says that it wouldn't blow me away that if Conor was winning and Conor got cut, the boxing commission stepped in and stopped it just to save face.
We've seen it before. Vladimir Klitschko was beating the shit out of Lennox Lewis, and there was a clash of heads, and the cut opened up, and then Lewis kept pounding on the cut, and in a fight that Vladimir Klitschko was winning, they had to stop the fight, and it was a TKO loss.
Yeah,
and they never rematched because Lennox Lewis was like, I'm done.
Right.
In an unfair world, I could see the boxing commission calling the fight on something shady if McGregor was winning. I don't know if I agree. I think. That's me looking through all the smoke and mirrors and going, I see an angle to get to. What do I want to see happen?
You think McGregor will do another one though?
Fucking yeah! Why, dude? This is more money than he's ever. His last UFC fight, he made $2 million flat. And he's making $75 million. He could do this fight and be like, guess what? I'm retiring, motherfuckers.
Well, yeah, that's what I think. If he gets walked around I don't think he's going to go ahead and.
I think he has so many options, and I think that he's going to generate so much pay-per-view numbers off of this that whether he does UFC or he does boxing again, he has so many options. He's never going to fight for less than $30-40 million.
I disagree. I highly disagree.
I will.
Mayweather could be the loser. McGregor.
I highly disagree. He'll pay. He'll fight. It doesn't. The money doesn't matter to that guy.
Maybe not.
I think he's not going to put his body out there unless it's being
a couple million.
Yeah, unless he's being.
Well, he's a high level person, but I mean,
he's leading the charge for all of these guys, man. The whole MMA, the brand of MMA is sitting on whatever happens with Conor McGregor. If he wins, whatever he does, man, it's going to elevate all of them. They're all going to make more money.
If he looks like a fool,
he's not going to.
I don't think he's going to get embarrassed.
There's always the factor.
Nobody thought that Ronda Rousey was going to look like a fool in Holly Holm, and she turned her inside out.
Me and Mike did, but whatever.
But she ain't making no money no more.
No. What's your prediction, Greg?
Beat.
I want McGregor to win. and I think McGregor's gonna win, just because.
You really think?
I do. I think I don't know.
I hope, but I just don't see it.
All logic says he's not going. I'm throwing a Hail Mary. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Knockout.
Wait, did Mike say who's going to win?
Oh, I want to see McGregor win by knockout, but I think that there will be some weird circumstances to finish the fight.
Yeah.
I think McGregor will get stopped on a cut or something stupid, or maybe Mayweather will, but there won't be the definitive finish, and there will be a sequel.
Right, because the money is a huge thing. Well, that's what's going to be. I think I could see that happening just because everybody wants to make more money.
Yeah,
and I see McGregor keep going into it because I mean, all right. So everybody here, pretty much everybody works a job where it's like I'm not the biggest fan of my job, but I like to make money.
Yeah,
and it's like you're gonna take that hit at your job making money, and he's doing a job that he likes to do and making money at the same time. Like, yeah, you're not always going to win, but you're still making a decent amount of money, and you're doing the stuff that you'd like to do.
Right. As long as they make it a interesting fight that is worth good to watch. Yeah, it's got to be worth the money, or else there is not going to be another one.
As long as McGregor's in the fight, it's going to be interesting.
And I think he will be.
He will be shit talking. And look, you look through the history of combat sports on both sides of it, on MMA, on kickboxing, and on boxing. When have you not ever seen, right, where the two big names collide, where they weren't able to at least get two out of it? How many? It's real rare.
But this in itself is rare.
Well, I mean, sure, it's unprecedented that you pluck somebody out of one thing and throw them into another sport where supposedly the best to ever do it. I mean, I would argue that Lomachenko would whip Mayweather's ass, but for promotion's sake, the best to ever do it is going to take on a guy who isn't even the best in MMA. He's just the biggest draw.
Right. Correct.
Is going to come over. But man, McGregor's got balls,
I want to
add
that
matters.
That we were talking about I don't know if we talked about it on here, but Mike and I were talking about before McGregor's stance. He doesn't want him. He doesn't think he should.
Oh, we haven't talked about any of that. Strategic?
No. Well,
strategic.
One of the reasons I think Conor has a better chance than a lot of people think is because
he's going to move way differently.
He's got a karate stance, and in MMA he covers distance better than just about anybody. Right. Yeah. And with his long arms, he's got the reach on Mayweather. With his ability to cover ground,
he's going to end up having everything when it comes to numbers.
Well, it's a big thing. If you take a traditional boxing stance, which is straight, which is squared up,
right,
and that's the last fucking 10, 15 guys Mayweather's fought. Right. They all stand square. McGregor never stands square.
No.
He's a sideways stance. He's a karate.
But is he going to stand square?
He's
in a boxing match
for sure. He's bringing the karate style.
That's what the rumor is. He's going to go karate.
Absolutely. If you saw the footage that got leaked, he's standing in his sideways karate stance with his lead hand low, his left hand cocked, and look, you can make whatever you want of that.
Is that a karate stance, or is that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish stance?
For the purposes of the fight, it's both. But it's traditional karate. It's a karate stance, and if you watch that footage, you can say, yeah, it was edited, it was whatever. The fact of the matter is, he hit Paulie Malignaggi, who is a former 2-division world champion boxer. He hit him and dropped him, and he hit him square with a 1-2 combination with that up jab and that straight left hand, and he put him on his ass. And those punches, you don't see them, and the punches you don't see, they're the ones that knock you down. I'm 100% buying the hype on this.
Yeah. All right.
It's too much fun.
I know how I'm going to make my decision.
We got to wrap it up.
I'm going to. Okay, so as
my mic breaks.
Why did McGregor lose to Diaz?
Conditioning.
He didn't have he couldn't go the rounds. He
couldn't go to the ground. Yeah, he got tired.
He gassed. So
he also thought that he could knock him out quicker, and he wasn't efficient.
And Mayweather, he doesn't really gas pretty much at all. I feel like it's going to come down to conditioning.
I think that typically McGregor has better conditioning than that fight shows.
That's true, yeah.
But
I think if it's going to end it would be in the third round versus the fourth round. If McGregor's going to win, he would have to win in the third round.
Remember, boxing rounds are only 2 minutes long.
3.
That's a good point.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
I'm going to
is a
stay with
big
that.
deal.
If McGregor's going to win, it's going to be in the third round versus the fourth round.
I like it.
And,
is that the cue music?
Yeah.
Like,
and I feel like that going back to football, that Andrew Luck is not doing well, and that's why the Colts are thinking about picking up Brock Osweiler.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I just want to say Karma's a bitch. Mayweather's a Thank you.
I am 100% with her.
See you guys.
Never been played off.
I had to play him off. We're going to try to come back next week after this fight happens. We'll talk all about it. Thanks for watching the Ultimate Men's Conversation. We'll see you all later.
Propeller of the helicopter mess on my hair. And now I'm in together, so I better beware. I ended up in a wedding gown and didn't even care. Rag top, top down, smoking cigarettes in a wedding gown. Candy cup, lower down, smoking cigarettes in a wedding gown. Rag top, top down, smoking cigarettes.